What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? Appreciate you guys tuning in. Come on in, get the numbers up. Right now, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Facebook being my personal page. I haven't created a Facebook page for Ray's Juke Joint just yet. I am live on my personal Twitter page, Ray Juke Joint Twitter page. So please subscribe. Come on in. You guys know why we are here today. We got a special guest that will be joining us in about 9 minutes. Just going to give a brief recap on what's been going on since the last time I went live. So, as you guys know, I referee basketball. I talk about that all the time. So, I just been doing a lot of that. Most recently, I was in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, refereeing a tournament there on Saturday and Sunday. Got the schedule on Friday night, so I had to prep my bag, gas, food, all of that. Given that I live in Portsmouth, Virginia, it wasn't that bad of a ride. It was only 2 hours. So I got up, me and my wife got up Saturday morning, drove to Rocky Mount, North Carolina, which was about 2 hours and 10 minutes. Refereed 8 games, hopped back in the car, got back Saturday evening, woke up early Sunday morning, picked up the rental. And then once we got the rental on Sunday morning, which was at 5, drove to Rocky Mount, North Carolina for another 2 hours, did 5 games, and drove right back. So every weekend since the scholastic season has ended, I have been refereeing nonstop. If it wasn't on the weekends or Friday through Sunday, it was during the week. One of the local high schools, Kellum High School, they were doing their summer league ball, and so I was doing that every Monday and Wednesday, 2 games each day, sometimes one. So just working on the craft. Did a did my first college basketball camp. That was cool for Division 3. Possibly be able to get picked up by that, but we'll see. So it's been a lot of basketball for me. Getting trained by one of the guys that comes on during the week with us. He refereed for the WNBA. He refereed for the MEAC, refereed for D3, and another mid-major conference. So during the off season, I am getting trained and trained and trained by professionals who refereed in the NBA, Big D1, D3. So it's been a lot of refining for my career in that. So that I'm excited about that. So it's been good, man. A lot of basketball. And then outside of basketball, my wife Segan has been taking off. So she sung recently for the Washington Mystics for their opening night, which was last month, which was in mid to late May. So that was a really good experience. It was cool. I talked about that in the last podcast. Let's see. So now we're getting ready for her. She'll be performing for the Chicago Sky on July 13th, so which is about a few weeks away. So we're just in the final stages of prepping. We already got our plane tickets, already got the hotel set up. Just stacking up, the bread for food, room and board. Going to spend some time with family. As you guys know, that is my home, hence me doing the Bulls podcast. Spend some time with family and friends. We're going to go to a White Sox game, go do some sightseeing, go get some good food. So we'll be at the White Sox game on July 14th, which will be that Sunday after the Sky game. So if you are back home in Chicago, tuning in right now on Twitter, wherever you are, I will be at the White Sox game. If you want to come meet me in person, I definitely want to meet some of you guys, man. Get some pictures, we get some food together, talk some trash. You know what I'm saying? Please, 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 please. If you can't get to that game, I know the White Sox aren't having a good season, so the tickets are reasonable right now. So yeah, come on in, man. Come meet your guy. Get some pictures with me. So yeah, she's prepping for that. And then I just booked her for the Savannah Bananas, which is one of the more popular baseball franchises in the country right now. They will be here in Norfolk, Virginia, on in August 16th. So she'll be performing for them. I got the email from them this week actually. They hit me up, so they was like, "Hey, we would love for your wife to sing for us," which was dope. So we got that squared away, and interestingly enough, this was actually really cool. I got an email for her to open up for one of the horse racing tracks here in the state of Virginia. It's going to be it's actually a pretty big race. I never heard of it. They sent me an email. They saw some of her videos and stories that we did on the news together. Uh, they saw that article and they was like, hey, we would love for her to open up for us. And so I did all of my managerial duties and contracts and logistics and everything like that. So she'll be opening up for one of the well-known horse racing tracks in Virginia. So that was really dope. So that's what's been going on since the last podcast episode, man. It's been a lot of moving parts, and officially been named into my role on my government job, my day-to-day job. So I'm now acting as the lead in the office. So working with the government, that's pretty dope. Trying to clean up a lot of mess that the Navy has going on. But that's besides the point. That's work. I'm gonna leave work at work. We're here to talk basketball. And as you can see, I got my Bulls gear on, but right now, all of my Bulls family, including myself, we're a bit stunned right now because the Bulls just traded Alex Caruso. And you and me and so many of us, we're devastated right now. We're devastated because we love Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso was fantastic for us. He was the reason why the Bulls even got to the play-in tournament. He was one of the reasons why. Him and Kobe White. So it hurts that Alex is gone, but I understand it from long-term, viewpoint. It still stings, but Alex Caruso is getting older. He's up for a new contract, and I kind of get where AK is coming from. And do I want to give him a new contract and continue to tread water, or do I trade him to a contender? And on the flip side, I get a young guy who is 6'8", who can score. He's a 3-level scorer, and that'll be beneficial for the team. So I compare him with these other young and up-and-coming stars, i.e. Kobe White. Ayo is not a star, but he is a key role player. So that sucks. That really does suck. Hate to see Alex go, but it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. We, all those Bulls fans is hoping that there is some trade compensation as far as draft picks. Hopefully there is. I hope so for the sake of the PR for the team, because if there's not, it would not look good amongst fans. Fans are already pissed, rightfully so. So that would not be good at all. So I hope so, man. But we gonna see. We gonna see. Sorry about that. That's me turning off my Bluetooth. But in other news, JJ Redick, it's official. He's now the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers for the next 4 years. 4 years. How do I see it panning out? Who knows, man? Who knows when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers? They've kind of been a circle now for the past, 5-6 years now. But the reason why I'm bringing him up is because given that I live in Virginia, my wife is from Virginia, where JJ Redick played high school ball is where my wife's family is from, Roanoke, Virginia. So VA stand up. You got another one that made it to the big circle. My Twitter fans, they don't know that Virginia, they got quite a few head coaches in positions there. Alan Williams, who coached for the Bears defensively, who was a defensive coordinator, he is from Norfolk, Virginia. He played at Northview High School. He played alongside Mike Tomlin. I think it was at William & Mary. So that was pretty cool to have a local VA person coaching on the Bears. But as you guys know, he's no longer on the coaching staff for the Chicago Bears. Reason being, we don't know. It's HR related. And of course, Mike Tomlin, who was a long tenured head coach for this Pittsburgh Steelers. He is from Hampton, Virginia. He's, he's doing this thing up there in Pittsburgh. And now we have JJ Redick. JJ Redick he's from a place called Cookeville, Tennessee, which is west of Virginia, but he played high school ball and became of age and a young man in the state of Virginia. And so he played ball at this place called Cave Spring High School in Roanoke, Virginia. He won a state title in 2002, was an All-American MVP in the All-Star game. So it was pretty cool to see him. So Virginia stand up. You got another one on the board. So, but with that being said, my guy is here. The big man of the hour is here. I'm now going to bring him to the stage. Everybody give a big round of applause to my man, one of the fastest guys to ever pick up a basketball.
Say all that.
Let me see what we got. Where is he? There he is. My man Ish. How you doing, big dog?
G, what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
We can't tell everybody about our predictions throughout the finals.
Hey. All I gotta say is this: if anybody ever ever downplayed the smarts of a point guard in the NBA, I'm gonna look at them sideways from now on because the game you put me on, I thought I knew ball. I thought I knew ball, man. But hey, you on another level, man, and it makes sense why you played in the NBA for so long, bro. But how you feel about how the finals played out, man?
So it's crazy because if they seen the whole text thread, they'd be sitting there like, because we talked about it throughout. I had more fun. Like we'd be talking throughout the game.
Yeah.
And my wife would be like, "Is that Greg again talking to?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm talking about the game." And she'd be cleaning up the house and getting the kids ready for bed. And I'm just in there like into the text message. And when you locked into a text message, she trying to talk to you. You're not paying attention. You watching the game and text you. So honestly, man, when I watched, like styles make fights. It's crazy. And it's just like boxing. And so when I looked at Boston, I thought only legitimately maybe two teams could beat them coming out of the West.
Yeah.
And I thought that was Denver and Minnesota. Possibly Minnesota. But I knew Denver would have been like that would have been a 7-round fight.
Who knows? That would have been a dog fight, bro.
Yeah, that would have been a dog fight. The only thing was, and what people kind of didn't take into account, everybody was going Luka and Kyrie crazy. Yeah. When Boston was just kind of creeping up and just winning games. Yeah. And I learned this going on a finals run we played when I was in Denver. It's not, who you play or you just trying to get as many games to get over that 7-game series. Yeah. So I remember last year, Minnesota, we beat them 4-1. Yeah. We beat Phoenix 4-2. And then we swept then we swept the Lakers 4-0. Yeah. So then when we got to Miami had just came out of the play-in. So they was beat up by the time they played against us. And so the energy that it takes to go through a series. Yeah. Dallas had to go through Clippers, tough team. Then from the Clippers, then they went and faced Oklahoma City. That was a grueling. And then after that, then you play against a Minnesota. And now you got to be like, all right, I'm ready for Boston. That's a lot. Yeah. And then the matchup didn't work well. It's just, Dallas, I want to say, was top 5 in the league in lobs. And then Boston switches everything. So that eliminates lobs. No more lobs. Yeah. And now you force just one-on-one basketball, which throughout a 7-game series is going to be hard.
Yeah, man. And it's funny you say that because I think Dallas, they gave up a piece when they made the trade for Kyrie. The person that could have really kind of banged with KP that game that he went off was Dorian Finney-Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Now, granted, I've seen KP in person up close. He is a walking tower.
7'3".
He is a legit 7'3", bro. But the way that Dorian played kind of would have been able to offset because Dallas had no matchup for him. Man.
No. And I played with KP in Washington actually.
Yeah.
And KP, man, it's nothing you can do because he's legit. It's the reason why they call him the unicorn. That's why I'm so happy for him, man. Yeah. I remember when we both got traded. I got traded from Charlotte, coming back to Washington. Yeah. And he got traded from Dallas. And that kind of ended a little ugly. He kept it respectable and PG, but that wasn't like, how, it went. So for him to go and play a big time game 1, I was happy for him. I was happy. Yeah, and don't get it twisted. I was happy for PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford for them to get there. I just thought Boston was the better team. And like I said, it's matchup wise. You just they switch everything, so no more lobs. That means Luka and Kyrie got to have like the LeBron and Kyrie, how they did in those last 3 games where they won. They had to have those type of games throughout the whole series. Yeah. And even then, that still, it was just going to be competitive. It still didn't guarantee a win. So.
Yeah, man. And I knew that the guard play defensively for Boston was going to cause a lot of problems for Dallas because they were the best defensive team. You're talking about Jaylen Brown and then Jason Tatum, and then you include Drew Holiday and Derek White. Those guards, they were going to lock you down on the perimeter, man. So you trying to get the ball even inside was going to be a hard task for them. So, it kind of went the way I expected, but I'm not going to lie. I was one of the ones that got caught up the Kyrie and Luka, it was like, yo, this is insane. But I did not go along the way that a lot of people were saying this is the the most talented backcourt. I was like, all right, y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta relax.
Well, you know how it is, G. We prisoners of the moment. So
yeah,
sometimes we get caught up and be like, yo, man, I'm telling you, man, this is the best we've ever seen. And you gotta kind of like allow that stuff to kind of process to the end. Let them run through the finish line, then maybe we can make the assessment. Yeah. But like I said, it takes nothing away from Dallas. Man, they had a heck of a year. But it's just Minnesota with Gobert in that big time drop. Like now, Luka's just playing. He's such a clever player. So now he's hitting you with a late pass. He's throwing a lob. You in low man. He's skipping it to the corner. And now PJ Washington and you got Lively for the lobs, Gafford for the lobs, and then you got Derek White in the corners. They shooting their threes. Right. You know what I mean? No, Derek Jones Jr. I'm sorry. Yeah. They shooting their threes. And so, and they work on them spots. I remember watching the Oklahoma City series. Derek Jones Jr. hit like 4 or 5 threes one game, just in that same spot in the corner. Mm-hmm. And instead of like daring them to shoot like those other teams were, Boston said, no, we just not going to let them get off. Yeah. Y'all got to score 65 apiece. Right. And then from there, like, we'll see, with us laying on you, being physical, and offensively, we calling y'all out. Come on out here, Luka. Come on, man. You got to move them feet. You got to move them feet and take nothing away from Luka. He's just not. I honestly think he does try. I think could he be a little bit better? Yeah, but I think athletically, I just don't think he, is that good. I think he can space. JJ Redick became a really good defensive player, despite like some of the athletic deficiencies. So he gonna have to read angles and go and send guys a certain way and really dig into the scouting report, but he just not athletically can like pressure guy and stand in front of him. Right. So, they was picking on him and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday, even Drew Holiday running in, getting offensive rebounds if he wasn't scoring. Mm-hmm. Derek White. Like, it's hard, and they was making those guys play one-on-one. But the best team won.
Yeah, they were the best team all year, man. And it was I don't want to say it was a boring finals. I don't think it was. I still say the most boring finals was the 2007 finals between Cleveland and San Antonio.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
That was a rough watch, man. And but you're talking about a young LeBron led team. Yeah, still trying to find his way into the league. But a lot of people were saying this was the most boring. No, it wasn't. It was just dominant, man. Yeah, this was a team, showcasing their dominance and keeping in the league. So we talked about this too in the thread. Your boy JJ. It's official. It's official, man. He is now the coach of the Lakers, man. And I know you said that you had your reservations about it. How do you feel about it now that it is official?
So a lot of times you're gonna hear me like, even in our text, like I play with these guys. So I like built a great relationship and strong relationship with them. And so JJ, I played with a JJ in Orlando, and then we got traded together in Milwaukee. So we built a really good, strong relationship through that trade and then playing together in Orlando. So I'm happy for him because he did get a nice little check. So I'm still happy for him. I'm for sure happy for him. The situation is JJ's a brilliant mind. And with that, and they didn't give him like, I guess that it was 3 years, right?
Yeah, 4 years. 4 years.
Oh, 4 years. Oh no, that's cool. Which you know how it is with these coaching, man. Monty Williams just 1 year. I
Juneteenth, man.
Yeah, I really thought they was gonna go after Monty. I really did. Like
that wouldn't have been a bad pickup for them, man.
Yeah, I really did. But I'm happy for JJ. With the Lakers organization, I just hope they don't, do like they do and just like we gave him a couple years. Yeah, we washing our hands with it, but it's still a great experience. Like, you know what I mean. And JJ's a smart player. JJ's a feisty player. JJ's a competitive player. Going all the way back, he's from the DMV. He's from the Virginia area.
Yeah, played in Roanoke.
Yep, going all the way back to the Virginia. So he's just a competitor. He's a competitor at Duke, and he's gonna work hard at it. So I'm happy for him. I really am happy for him. I still want to see how it goes. I think he has an idea how he wants him to play. Yeah. I still think the Lakers need a little bit more pieces, though.
I do too, man, and that's why I'm nervous about JJ because it's a fantastic gig. You're coaching the Los Angeles Lakers. This is the well-known brand in the NBA, but they want to win now, you know, and so JJ being his first gig, hey, bruh, they ready to win, so you kind of gotta, you know, I want to say the odds are stacked against him, but the heat is definitely on, you know. Especially because Bron wants to win now. This is not a knock on Bron, but where he's at, he's ready to win now. You know, and so are they going to have the patience for that? You know, so
let me ask you this question though, G. Do you think they can still win with Bron being their best player?
Like I said in the chat, can you win with Bron? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But his style of play, him being so ball dominant, it has to go away. In my opinion, because I want to see Bron on that low block. Let the point guard bring the ball up. You run your set, and Bron honestly can run the offense off the wing. If you want to keep it real, you know what I'm saying. You get somewhat of a triangle going. You know, you have the guard that's smart enough to run it. You got the big man in Anthony Davis. You know what I'm saying? And then the news came out that Brook Lopez, they don't know if he's going to be in Milwaukee next season. So that's a piece they can go after. So Brook can be the 5 and AD can go to 4. And you already got a capable guard in Russell. He can run the point.
Yeah.
Now that 2 position, I don't know what they're going to do with that. Hey, Chicago, they want LaVine. I'm just saying the Lakers, it can be done.
Yeah.
But is LeBron willing to kind of fall back a little bit from being so ball dominant? You know,
and Bron has taken a little bit of sacrifice. If you watch him now, he kind of plays like the short roll.
Yeah,
he kind of plays the 4 short roll. So he has made a little bit of a sacrifice.
Yeah.
When it comes, you know how it is. When it comes crunch time, he gonna have that ball in his hand. My only thing is, I love Bron, man. I think Bron's a all-time great.
Oh, for sure. Top 5.
Yeah, but I just, at 40, 41 years old, he's still playing at a high level, but I don't think he's playing at a, like, yo, listen. Because Bron in his heydays, you know this.
Yeah.
He was the best player, and he controlled everything. It's hard to, I don't care what anybody say, to kind of pull yourself back and be like, oh, okay, this is what because you still playing at a high level. I think he was second team All NBA, third team
All NBA, yeah,
which is crazy. So he's still playing at a high level, but is he playing at a high enough level to go beat Denver next year? You know what I mean? To go beat Minnesota next year, Oklahoma City. I just saw. I know you ain't happy about this. They just Caruso.
We're gonna talk about it.
But you get what I'm saying? Like Oklahoma City, it's like it's low. I'm not even naming Dallas coming back stronger. And we're not even putting into account teams that gonna come out of like, oh man, we didn't know they was good. We didn't know they was gonna be good, like the Orlando Magic this year in the East.
Yeah,
like it's gonna be a team that Sacramento's gonna come back. They came back from the West is loaded. So you think about it, you like, man, are we just gonna constantly be this play-in team and then get in the first round and hopefully get the right matchup? And then maybe we can make some noise. That ain't, man, these teams is getting younger and they're getting better and they're building confidence. Yeah. So I just kind of, and it's take nothing away from, you know, I play with AD. I love playing with, man, what? AD's most, like, listen, Rondo, when he was there with him, I played with him there. Drew, like, AD, man, you will love, listen, if you're a point guard, you're a pass forward, you'll love playing with AD.
Yeah.
And AD's so unselfish. He always like, man, yo, like,
he's very unselfish.
Man, he's so unselfish. Yeah. And Bron, they're perfect complementary, but it's just, man, and Bron played well in the playoffs this year. I take nothing away from him. It's just Denver was just, you know what I mean? Those matchups. So that's my only question is they're gonna have to make some moves, man. And it can't be just we're gonna get a star and throw it there. Nah, it's gotta fit. Yeah. And so we'll see. Like I think if Bron is like your second best player, and when I mean like in a sense where you know how Bron, he trusts that you are playing better than him.
Right.
Then you straight. but he's your best player. That's a lot at 40, 41 years old, man. Woo,
yeah, and now those injuries, nothing major, but he's getting those nagging injuries now too. It's something that we never seen with Bron before. So
yeah, and then step slow on defense, man. It's just a lot. I don't care what nobody say. Like Father Time's undefeated. You just gonna feel it someday. Someday you're gonna be like, man. Yeah, I used to be in the low man and close out, or I could like sit in the chair and guard this dude for 48 or for 44, however long I guard him. Like, oh, the point guard scoring, you know how Bron used to be? Oh, I got him.
Yeah.
He was one of the best two-way players we had ever, you know what I mean? He obviously has seen. So now it's the situation when you look, G, and you like, can they gonna have to do some changing, man.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It's gonna be interesting. So going to Alex Caruso. I get it. I get it, man, because the boy. But our general manager, he said in his press conference, he said this team is not going to be the same team that you guys saw this previous season. So he told us changes were coming. But a lot of people there worrying about, did you get a trade pick for him? But Josh Giddey isn't a bad player, though.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, he's a good player. 6'8", long, can score. From anywhere on the court. So it's a good trade. But it still stings, though, because Caruso is that dog on defense that every team needs, man.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, though. You think they in rebuild? You think y'all in rebuild?
I want us to go into rebuild, man. Yeah. I really do. And I've told somebody this before. I said, before we gave Billy Donovan that contract extension, who's a good coach, it was just the injuries to the team kind of just squandered everything.
Yeah.
I want us to be like, hey, Billy, thank you for your services, but this is the route we need to go as far as just blow it all up. And is Billy willing to go through that? And if not, we got options out there. You got a Monty out there. You still got a Mark Jackson out there who I want.
Why my dog guy? Yeah, I don't get that.
He's been blackballed. Everybody knows it. Why? The details may never come out. But I would love to see him coaching the Bulls because of how he helped cultivate that talent in Golden State. And we got a lot of young pieces, so I would love to see him do that. But if Coach Billy is cool with blowing it up, then keep him. He's a solid coach. He's not bad.
Yeah, he's a good coach. Yeah.
And then, of course, DeMar's up for a contract, so we've talked about keeping him. Then LaVine, he's on the trade market now from what they just reported. Yeah. Patrick Williams, who's a young forward.
I like Pat. He's from Charlotte.
Yeah, he's from Charlotte. Yeah, he's up for a new contract. And so, but the Bulls are kind of letting him dictate which route he wants to go. And P. Will is still raw, but he was showing progress before he got hurt this season. So it's it's weird, man. Bulls in a weird situation, man.
You know what they remind me of? The time when I was in Detroit. So we would always be like, we had really talented guys.
Yeah.
And we will always like that 8th, 9th, 10th. Like we will always be right around there. And I thought Stan put an unbelievable. Stan was actually the GM and the coach. Stan was one of my favorite coaches we had.
Right?
Yeah, one of my favorite coaches I had. But we just kept having injuries. And so then they brought in Dwayne, and we made it to the playoffs. But we got swept by Milwaukee. And then the next year, I went to Washington, and then they brought in Derrick Rose and somebody else, but they ended up blowing the whole thing up.
Yeah.
The toughest part is, and I get it when some of these GMs do it, is like either you make a change and you bring somebody else in so you can, like a player that you feel like, okay, he fits, addition by subtraction. So you might have to be like, all right, we got to send him out and then bring somebody else in. Because when you're in that mediocre state, that's like the worst. If you don't make either blow it up or you don't make a big time move to where, and it don't have to be it could be like Oklahoma City did this year, which I thought was big. They just got Chet Holmgren healthy. They went from 8-9 to all of a sudden the number 1 seed. And they were young, so that's different. But that's why I compare them to us. Like we were a little older team, like either the guys was like in their prime or a little older. And we just couldn't, whether it was injuries or whatever the case was, we were just kind of stuck in that mediocre state. And like I said, I thought Stan did a good job putting the team together and coaching us. And then Dwayne came in and did a great job. But for some reason, we had injuries. I know when Stan was there the 2 years I was there with Stan, we had injuries. Reggie Jackson would get hurt, and which is your start is 17-8. You know, your starting point guard. And then the next year, Dwayne was there. Blake got hurt.
So that's right. You guys did have Blake. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so we made a trade for Tobias and Boban for Blake Griffin. And I remember like it was yesterday, man. It was when Blake came in the next year, we was like, you know, Stan coming back, and then you know, Stan's such a loyal dude, man. He Tom Gores asked Stan to make one move off his bench, and Stan was like, nah. That's why I rocks with Stan, man. Yeah, Stan.
Wow, you giving us some insight, Ish? Come on, man. Give us the juice.
Yeah, so Stan, like, you know, Tom was just, you know, he was like, man, I promised the fans. And I love Tom Gores. That's my guy, man. But he was like, man, you know, I promised the fans we got to make some type of moves, Stan. Stan was like, nah, I ain't making no moves. And this is how unbelievable Stan is, man. I tell guys this all the time. Like, they don't hear these stories. So Stan put in all the guys' contracts, all his coaches' contracts, that if they got fired before their contract was up, that they keep getting paid through the end of their contract. So, yeah, I think they had like 2 or 3 more years left on the contract. So they kept getting paid. It kept getting paid. Even if, like, you know what I mean? Let's say somebody got fired and they couldn't find a job, they were still getting paid. He put it in each one of their contracts. That's how cold Stan was.
Yo, that's love, man.
Stan, what?
That's love. That's how you do it, though.
Yeah, Stan take care of his guys. Stan take care of his players. Like, you know what I mean? Guys, like, getting paid left to right. Now, he going to get on you. He going to stay on you.
Yeah.
But, man, he's one of my best coaches I had, man.
But he's a good coach, man, because even when he took the Orlando Magic team to the finals.
He took that Detroit team before he got there. They weren't good.
Yeah.
He came in, and then they became we started becoming respectable. Like, I remember my second year, my first year, we had like 5 TV games. My second year, we had like 10, 15 TV games because they were expecting us to be good.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like I said, Reggie got hurt. Blake came in, and once Reggie came back, and you know, Blake got healthy. Well, Blake was already healthy, but Reggie came in. We was just too far behind the 8 ball. We ended up finishing that year 39-43. And then the next year, they, you know, like I told you, like, gee, they asked him, they said, hey, man, just make one move off the bench. They said, heck nah, man. These my guys, I'm rolling with them. I'm not firing nobody. Wow. I brought him here. And that's the type of dude Stan was, man. That's why, look, and you talking about somebody straightforward? Yo.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen some of his interviews, man.
Bro, that Dwight thing, I was praying for
man.
That time. Yo, that's still one of the funniest takes. And Stan, like, honest as could be, is like, I mean, what? He is trying to get me fired. And it was funny because I was, I just came out like right before they was doing the interview. I just came out right before. And they was talking to Stan. You know, you don't pay no attention. You just walk by. It was my second year in the league. You know, I was just working, you know, just working hard. That was a veteran team. We was trying to make one more run, one more push my first year in Orlando. And so I remember we came back, everybody was like, yo, you ain't see what happened? What happened? And everybody knew that, you know, we all knew that, like, Dwight wanted to, like, you know, he wanted to, it's some different things he wanted with the organization. And he was trying to pull some strings and whatever the case is, you know, superstars, they can get some calls and get some things that they want to get done. And we were such a tight-knit group there, from Otis Smith, who was the GM, and Stan was really tight, that Otis was like, yeah, he went to the ownership. The ownership told Stan, yeah, they were just honest. He was like, yeah, he trying to get you fired. And yeah, but the thing about Dwight, man, people don't understand, one of the most underrated, when I say, and I think because all that stuff is whatever surfaced or whatever the case is, that's just personal life.
That's personal, right,
you know, right. We just got to pray for whatever. That's the spirit. We all know that.
Right.
But when I'm talking about, when he step on that floor,
bro. Hey, a lot of kids don't know, man. Dwight Howard would kill in today's NBA, man.
What?
Would kill.
Yo, what? Especially people don't give him the respect. He can switch out on 5. I mean, switch out on 1s and guard.
Yeah.
like dude was special, man. I remember he would just, you didn't even need, like, you cannot be like a really good defender, like, and be able, like, if Luka had him on the back line, take nothing away from Lively and Gafford,
right, for sure.
But Dwight is another level. We know that. And so, with that being said, like, he cleaned up everything. I'm talking about was blocking everything, and then he was giving you 20 and 10, and we weren't giving no post-ups. It was all out of pick and rolls, and he was sealed.
Yep.
So Dwight was special. He don't get enough, like, for him not to be on that 75. Like, Dwight was cold, man.
Yeah,
Dwight was cold, man.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I think, because they wanted him to kind of develop into this premier offensive guy, back to the basket, off the block, or whatever. But it was one of those things that wasn't his game, and that was okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, we got my boy Ray up in here. Hold on, bring Ray to the stage real quick. So this is the guy that put this whole network together.
How you doing, Ray?
How you doing, Ish? How you feeling, Joe?
I'm chilling, man. Raising kids
and
being a good husband. That's about the extent of it.
Hey, I do the same thing you do. I wish I had the same level of patience that you do.
Well, no. Let me tell you. Listen, I ain't always got the most patience. The Lord working with me about that. I have to start praying and talking like, "Oh Lord, please."
I tell you what, man. It gets easier and harder at the same time as they get older. Because my children are older.
Okay.
Yeah, my oldest is 26. So.
Okay. So you and the wife empty nested almost, or have
we got grandkids now, so
Oh, so they come over. But see, they easy.
Ray the OG. You know
yeah, but they easy. You just be like, nah, you good.
Yeah. So it is what it is. It's good to see you, man. I'm glad Gregory met you.
Yo, that was fun
and everything. And I told Gregory this is his show. However he sees it, however he wants to do it. I just gave him a platform. He needed one. And I'm glad you was his first guest, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. And it's funny, Ray, because how we met, I was reffing the Puma tournament here in Virginia Beach.
Oh, yeah.
And so I saw Team Ish on the kids' jersey. I'm thinking, okay, we make one of the sponsor guys. But I didn't expect to see the actual player there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I had recently did the EYBL tournament in Hampton a couple weeks prior, and we had Team DeRossi and Team Durant, Team CP3, all those guys, those teams. But most time they're not there because they got basketball going.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And so I see Team Ish, okay, bet. That's what's up. And then I see this guy come in, sit on the bench. And, I'm warming up. I look like, that ain't who I think it is, bro.
That ain't.
And so during halftime, I'm like, yo, you Ish Smith? He's like, yeah, how you doing? Nicest guy in the gym, bro. I mean,
well, look, basketball is what I do. That's not who I am. So I've understood that the Lord's given us all a platform, and for me, it's basketball, and you start realizing when you get older, you got a purpose. You know what I mean? Like, you get in there hooping and you getting it, and then you achieve these things. You like, hold on, man. I'm supposed to be pouring this into somebody else. This would be all for none if I don't say, hey, man, let me see if I can give you something that I didn't have at your age, or let me see if I can, just being a vessel. I always tell people all the time, like, we're all resources for each other.
Yeah.
Now, we know the Lord is our source, but we're all resources for each other. So if we're not trying to help each other out, what are we doing?
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So that's how I am, and that's why, like, when I, me and G met, like, we just hit it off. I was texting him. I was telling him, Ray, I was texting him throughout we literally talked every day, like, when it was doing the play. We got to keep it up now with this free agency stuff going on.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up, man. He probably already told you come on here, talk all your shit you want, G.
Hey, y'all let me know. I come through for real, but I just know that I was really appreciative to meet him. It was we literally was sitting out there talking. My wife was like, "Come on, it's time to go." I was like, "Oh, my bad." Yeah, see you later. You know what I mean? Because I love talking about the game of basketball.
Did he hit you with the requisite Chicago questions?
He did.
He hit you with those already? Okay. All right. I didn't know. I was at work and I didn't have my earbuds in or anything like that. Trying to get here. You know what I'm saying?
He did. And listen, I'm gonna tell you, because my cousin lives in Chicago. He actually works in he actually does some Secret Service type stuff there. So he He went to NC State, and then from NC State, he started all of a sudden. He was like, we're moving to Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, like that's what's up. And so it's like he done been out to LA, he done been to Puerto Rico. They do this little, when he go in, they like it's clean. It ain't gonna be no crazy stuff. So I'm super proud of him. But I wanna actually, now that I'm done, I wanna go. I ain't officially made no little, how people put statements. I don't do all that. Like it is what it is.
I do got a couple questions for you though. I don't know if Greg asked you about these couple questions, man. So
no, shoot away, Ray.
If he's asked you, just say, nah, I already answered that. Okay. All right. Question number 1 is, how does it feel to hold the record in the NBA?
You know what? So I'm gonna tell you this, Ray. I'm gonna be totally honest with you,
Okay.
G. Like at one time, I would like, and I'm gonna go back to my cousin. I would be like, people be like, man, this your 6th team in CCF. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? Like, I was on 2 teams, and then my cousin one day, I was talking to him, and he was like, man, what? That's your story. I was like, he said, man, lean into that. That's who you are. And before you know it, like once I lean into it, it's kind of like the 8 Mile joint. You remember when Eminem like, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm still here. So I started taking that much, and then I started seeing it as a badge of honor. And so I was like, yo, my cousin went wrong. And he was like, bro, you got to understand, that's your story. That's somebody else's story over there and somebody else's story over there. But this is your story. So for me, like I enjoy it. I honestly do. I met a lot of, the thing that you miss is you met a lot of teammates. I've had a lot of teammates. And the camaraderie in the locker rooms, the bus rides, the flights, the coaches. That's the stuff you miss and you enjoy.
I mean, you've been around and touched a lot of different people, and a lot of people have come in and poured into you probably all these years. You know what I'm saying?
I sat there. I didn't play at all in the playoffs when we played in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Man, watching Yoke play, and the dude is the most humble. Like, do you think? Listen, we won the chip, and I'm gonna go to every play. We won the chip. And instead of people, you see the iconic, everybody doing that. No, not this dude. He found every Miami Heat, shook their hand.
Wow.
I'm talking about in the set. I don't know if y'all seen it in the because they follow him around. He going, you know what I mean? Because we already know that this is something we growing up in America that we like.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, championship. We done seen MJ hold that trophy.
Yeah.
Kobe jump on the stand shit. Like we done seen. You know what I mean? KG, anything is possible. Like, Doc get the Gatorade point. We done seen, like, and I was just naming a few. Like, you know what I mean? I remember back in the days when my dad had Isaiah Thomas. Now I was a huge Isaiah Thomas. I still think, no offense to Magic, that Isaiah, because I was short. I think Isaiah Thomas is the best point guard to ever live. But I was short, so you got to give me.
I understand. A lot of people.
West Side.
Yeah.
But you guys, but I remember when he won and Dennis Rodman was running around. My dad had recorded all those tapes, and this was back in 1989, 1990. So he had them, and when I got old enough, I would watch it. MJ, all those things. So not him. Yoke was just kind of like he was happy. But he just was so calm. He shook everybody's hand.
And I'd be like, why is this dude killing these motherfuckers with these slow ass like it's like watching Duncan.
Yeah.
It's like, how is Duncan dominating with these moves? And then Jokic is just even worse because he be doing finger rolls from the free throw line.
Yes.
Like, what are we doing?
His touch is crazy. And people don't understand he's one of the most well-conditioned. Like, it sounds crazy because
he looks like he just got to upload, putting up drywall.
When I tell you, Ray and G, he run at the same pace the whole game. So it's kind of like the tortoise and the hare, if it makes sense. So you got guys that are more athletic, you got guys that's faster, but it kind of go like this sometimes. Oh, yeah, beat you down the court, get alive. Okay, cool. And this is what I think kind of made, speaking of Dennis Rodman, him great. He just was he had the athletic ability, but he had a motor. They told me, I've had some old coaches who played with him said he would literally play a whole game and get on the bike and ride on the bike for 20 minutes.
Wow.
After the game.
Yeah, so, like I heard speaking of Dennis Rodman, earlier today, you know how you be scrolling on social media or whatever.
Yeah.
Sean Kemp was having an interview with.
I saw that.
You saw
I saw that clip. Yeah.
Sean Kemp was like, MJ didn't beat us. It was that fucking Dennis Rodman.
Wow, man.
His motor was insane. That's why Chicago love like people with motors. That's why Taj Gibson can come here and just live a king's life in Chicago because he had that motor. He's that dude. You know what I'm saying? Joe Kemp, same thing.
And sidebar, Ray, we had that in another guy in the late 90s, early 2000s who we drafted. I don't know why it didn't work out. We had it in our test.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but see, Ron had to get out his own head. And he admitted to it. He admitted to it. Ron had to get out his own. I mean, he had to find himself. And then when he became Meta, he found himself. He was still Ron, but Meta was just a better version. He had to go through some stuff to really,
man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as men, and this is just in general, as men, a lot of us take a little bit more time to understand what it takes to be a man.
Yeah.
And then when you put that pressure on a young man to go into a league, or go from where he was in college, always being big man on campus, and then you're talented enough to be big man wherever you go, but you're in a stratosphere now when you come into Chicago, and the spotlight is on you, and guess who just left not too long ago?
MJ.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's a little different, but I understand, you know what I mean? But it amazes me that 13 years in the league, 13 different teams, but like I was getting prepared for this 2 weeks ago. Well, maybe even 3. Whenever you told me, I said, man, let me ask these young boys, do they know who Ish is, right? And it's like they don't know, but it's the thing about being a basketball player in the NBA for me. It's the guys that do the work. And you've always been that dude. Like ever since I seen you in Detroit, I hated you in Detroit. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I hated you in Detroit. I think you dropped like 20, 25.
It was a problem, man.
Bro. Like I swear it was one game. I want to say you hit like 12 threes on us. And I was like, this dude, get in front of him.
You know what's funny, man? And so I always love playing in Chicago because my cousin was there. And then it's a history with the Chicago. You sitting there and like you warming up. Well, not even warming up. You do your star lineup, and then all of a sudden
that song come on.
Running there. So you get, and then our challenges. We used to always, because we're in the same division, so we're trying to compete. And during that time, people don't understand. The year when Rondo, D-Wade, if Rondo don't get hurt,
hey, we know.
Y'all probably go to either the conference finals or the finals.
Bro. I made a tweet about that. It was about a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And Rondo talked about that on 520 podcast. Shout out to 520, Jeff T,
Bro. Like, he did this. He said that. I saw that same interview. Like he was like, "Yo, no, we was gonna make a run.
They was gonna make a run, and then the Bulls had did him dirty from how they was handling him with his playing time. But then he finally was like, "Yo, no, put me in."
Yeah.
And they went up 2-0 on the Boston Celtics, and now NBA champion Boston Celtics, bro.
Yeah. Yep. And that was the year Isaiah IT had his breakout year. He was killing.
Yeah,
and
man.
So they ended up losing in the conference finals to Cleveland. And maybe, but see, people don't understand. Cleveland would have played against that team, and so now the matchup looked like Rondo and Kyrie. Okay, now Rondo ain't scared of Kyrie, and Kyrie has a respect for Rondo. They would have won that. And then you got D-Wade and Bron. D-Wade and Bron, like it's only a couple players Bron like really kind of look up to. He might not tell you. He might, Bron tried to put it on whatever.
For sure.
But D-Wade was one of them. Wow. D-Wade is one of them. And so now because D-Wade taught him how to win.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, you go from there, and then it's funny. Now all of a sudden you got Jimmy Butler. So it would have been an intriguing match. I'm not saying Cleveland wasn't going to win. I'm just telling you.
It would have been intriguing for sure.
It would have been a better matchup than the Boston, because I think IT was banged up during that time.
Yeah, it was like his hip or something like that.
Yeah, his hip. And
and Luol got hurt too for us too.
Yeah. So
he had got what was it like? He had something going on.
Yeah,
he had got hurt. Yeah.
So we had battles, and then the next couple years, and one, you guys wasn't as good, but it was just a situation where we you had to go in there, man. In Chicago, it was a division. It was a division game.
Man, I swear I hated you in Detroit, G. Like,
and it was never games when I went there and played. y'all come out. Like, it don't matter how good you are or not.
Chicago gonna show up for basketball.
Yeah, for sure,
man. It's just that it's just when Jordan, like, I'm old enough to go to the Chicago Stadium to see Mike play. Like, I seen that. You know what I'm saying? I was there in the 90s watching MJ. I see him in the 80s when he was young. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally watched that game evolve. Michael Jordan's game evolve. That's kind of crazy to say.
Yeah. I want to ask you that question, right? Like, how was that, man?
Okay, give me 1 second. Shout out to Kelly. Kelly used to be a lover bull.
Oh, that's right. She did. What's up, Kelly?
Bull. So shout out to Kelly. She used to be a lover bull. So she knows all the stories. So she been around the players and everything like that. So she's dope. She's a cool person. So shout out to Lou Hall. So I'm gonna tell you like this. So just being a Chicagoan, when MJ came in the 80s, so 86, 85, 85, Isaiah's already Isaiah. You feel me?
Yeah.
And he still got the city on fire as far as just he's Zay. You know what I'm saying? Like, Zay is Zay. But then Mike coming in and, becoming who he became, let's just say his rookie year. Just some of the things that he would do with this scrub ass team that he was on, it was just amazing. So you're watching that on this. I'm watching it on a little 13-inch fucking TV in my room. Just, oh my God, this guy's amazing, right? But then my mother had some connections and she was able to get some tickets. So we would go down to the Chicago Stadium. And if you don't know anything else about Chicago Stadium, it was the loudest stadium you ever wanted to be around. It is historically loud. You know what I'm saying? So imagine going to a game in 1988, 89 when the Bulls started to get good.
Oh, we're talking about Mike's MVP.
So I'm talking about Horace. I'm talking about Scotty. I'm talking about, BJ Armstrong. I'm talking about all those guys, right? So this is the era of, like, I'm probably 11 years old, so I know what's going on, 10, 11 years old. And I'm like, okay, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? So we go into these games, and you know how you said that you're at the stadium, and it was different in the Chicago Stadium. Like, it was an organ, and it was like this loud sound. And then, the announcer was, from North Carolina, boom, boom, boom. And the stadium would go, you couldn't hear yourself. It was deafening in there, deafening every time. And then it would be game 2 of the season, and it's deafening for Mike. Yeah, it was that. And then he just showed love throughout the city. So
that's what I heard about Mike.
Like in the summertime, Mike would be down on Lakeshore Drive playing ball with the guys.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
I heard Mike was very visible. I heard.
Yeah, he would be down there playing golf. He'll end around a golf and be playing down on Lakeshore Drive with the fellas. Like, killing
easy.
Yeah, Mike was that dude in Chicago, bro. And then, like, so 1991 when they finally won against the Lakers, I was at my great grandmother's house, and we had to leave the house so she lived on Chicago, it's whatever. So I was on, like, I want to say it's on the 35th on the other side of King Drive, and that's where it was an apartment building for the elderly, right? Anyway, we got to leave there and go back to the Hunnits. Oh my God, it took us 2 hours to get from King Drive to the fucking expressway, which is the Dan Ryan, because people were just outside and throwing stuff, shaking your car. The Bulls won. And it was all love. Like, everybody outside, like, the whole city left out their houses and was in the streets, just going insane.
That's crazy.
Mike brought us a championship, bro. And it was like that every year. 92, 93, same shit. Yep.
Let me tell you something. My dad, I was watching. So, again, he used to have all these tapes. He used to record them. So 91, I was 3, I probably didn't know. But about 92, 93, when I was like 4 or 5 years old, I started being like, I could not take my eyes off of watching this man play. MJ, and so we used to get WGN down here.
Oh, that's what's up.
Wow.
Yeah, we get WGN, so you would see the games, yeah.
Yeah, so we got WGN, and the Hornets had just came in existence when I was born, 1988. So they would come on the channel, but we got WGN, and then people don't understand this. the games came on TNT and TBS.
Yeah.
The national televised games. And
Yeah.
then you had NBA on NBC, which sounds like they're going back to that.
And he would come down there and just love playing against Zoe because he would kill him. But anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was. So and it's funny. The Hornets actually had a really good team.
Larry Johnson, team. I'm saying Larry Johnson and Zoe and them that was there.
Muggsy Bogues, bro.
Muggsy, man. We had a squad. I heard Zoe and LJ didn't get along too well, but I guess I don't know all that story, but I heard they didn't get along too well, so they had to split them up. Because we thinking like we got a core for a minute, but I heard Zoe and LJ just didn't get along. So actually, they sent LJ obviously to New York and Zoe to Miami. But call a spade. Nobody was winning during that stretch because it was MJ.
And then all the greats would tell you that. Like you had to go through Chicago.
Man, it was nothing you could do. But I remember watching the game with my dad, and it was his last championship. So we sitting there watching the game. They down 3. And I'm like, man, they going to game 7. I had the whole Bulls uniform. No. I had the whole Bulls uniform from Sports Authority. I don't know if y'all remember Sports Authority.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I do, for sure. I don't know about that.
So I'm hyped. So I'm like, man, we sitting there watching the game. And I'm like, man, Dad, they going to go to game 7, man. I don't know. My dad said, watch MJ. I said, well, you got a lot of faith in a man. Like, you ain't playing. He's like, just watch MJ. I remember it like it was yesterday. Because people don't understand, MJ didn't shoot the ball well that game. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching. MJ get the steal, lay it up. I look at my dad. He said, I'm like, dang, I know this joker ain't. He ain't Jesus over here. Like, so I don't know what he's talking about. Like, oh, all right. He's like, watch. So he scored the layup. He comes down. And they do that same cross screen. Y'all know. Stockton runs, cut across. He throws it to Hornacek. Cut across at the screen for Carl. Carl gets it in that mid post or deep on the block. And MJ. Now this is how cerebral this man was. They've been doing that for 6 games.
Yeah, for sure.
And now he chooses like, nah, I'm gonna spin the block right back.
And I'm gonna come get that.
And so when he gets the steal, I looked at my dad and I'm like, yo, you tell me this man about to end his career on a last second shot? Yo, this can't get no better than this.
98, baby.
And the move that he hit and held the pose, I'm like, yo, man.
And it's picture perfect. It was picture perfect.
That's why when people debate me with, and I listen, I love all these guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, who better, Bron or MJ? I said, yo, don't talk to me about none of that crap, man. It's not don't please. And it's not to take away from Bron, it's not to take away from Mike. It's just, we can throw the numbers out, but then it's like, who do I want to sit down? It becomes an eye test. And I just want to watch, and I can't stop watching. Like, I can't. MJ was so much, like, I remember watching The Last Dance, and the lady said he's poetry in motion. The man was just like, he just was fun to watch. Like, some of the stuff he did.
What was his flaw? That's the thing. What was his flaw?
I know people say he can't shoot 3, he can't do this. I'm like,
no, I say the 3-point shot.
But if he wanted to, he could.
Yeah.
And he did it in moments where he needed to, he would knock it down. But it's go ahead.
This is what I always say, Ray and G. Like, if we put Bron on a lie detector test and we said, who's the greatest player ever? I think he would think to himself he's him. But I think that thing will start going up. I'm so serious.
His heart start beating real fast.
Yeah, because he's his favorite player. I mean, we all grew up watching Mike.
Everybody. Like growing up, that was. I mean, you got to think, man. Like in Chicago, every kid in Chicago, and just in the city of Chicago, millions of people. Every kid, I don't care what walk of life they was, they wanted to be Jay. MJ was the man. Everything we did, I had Come Fly With Me. I had whatever it was, Michael Jordan related.
Him too.
You know what I'm saying? Him too.
Yeah.
But Michael Jordan related. I had it. I had to have it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, it was a part of life. Like going to the stadium to watch the Bulls was like going to see the fucking, I don't know, going to see whoever the biggest rock star is in the world. You know what I'm saying? It was that insane. And it was just so fun to grow up in that era because you knew every night, like you said, you had a chance to win because Mike is going to do it. Well, here's the real good part, and I want you to speak on this as far as like how teams are constructed, because I know you can kind of understand like how a team is constructed and the leader of the team and the impact a leader has on a basketball team. Like, so Mike, the reason I'm asking you that because Mike, after 89, and what the 89-90 year when the Pistons beat his ass and he was like, I'm done with this. You're not beating me no more. And they left the playoff game and went back and started lifting weights that day.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like he was that focused to where he's like, no, we about to go start working out for next year. The next day.
Yeah.
But
Mike is one of the most, the thing people don't understand, he's one of the most, we know, talented, gifted, athletic, perfect 6'6", but he's one of the most competitive dudes the NBA, I think, has ever seen. Like, you got a dude that literally, like, I heard some stories. This man be gambling like $1,000 a hole in golf. Like,
oh no, that's real. That's real.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's super. You know, I played for him here. You know, a story like my sister is funny. She babysat for his brother Larry Smith since I was like, Larry Jordan, since I was a kid. So I knew Larry ever since I was a kid, and I knew the family, but I just never, I'd never seen him and met him. And so when I got a chance to play for him, last couple of years of my career, you just start being like, yo, this dude is like, he's just on a different level. Like grown men, I done seen grown men, and I'm talking about the greats, not like, I done seen the greats just kind of like, we all saw it, the top 75, the NBA.
Yeah, and he walks in it. Like, who said that? No, it was AI. AI was like AI's recollection of the 75 was, how everybody felt. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If they get there, it's on now.
You know who else said that? Damian Lillard. He said, bro, when he walked in, everybody was like, it just still, because he, Mike got to make an entrance. Yeah. So he was just coming from somewhere. He came in late. But to answer your question, Ray, about leadership's important. And people don't understand this. The best player don't have to be the leader. But I do feel like he has to have this kind of will to win and this competitiveness. Now, and you saw it, like I thought Luka was, obviously was one of the best players, but this is why you say Mike had no weaknesses. Like when you will get exposed in the playoffs if you have some kind of weaknesses. These coaches are too good. These players are too good. And that's something for Luka to go in. This is his
quote unquote time to go to the bag. Yeah, he's got to go to the lab.
I gotta go to the lab. Yep. I gotta slim up. I gotta play with better pace. And I gotta be able to not be all defensive team, but I gotta be able to be, you can't pick on me. Steph did that. Steph was like, no, you ain't gonna be able to pick on me. And then all of a sudden they start winning championships. Because at one time that's how it was for Steph. And they would bring them up, pick on them, and so they would only get to the second round. Or maybe they couldn't get past the Clippers the first couple of years. So it's a mindset that does change. And you start, like Boston did this year, you have dealt with enough heartache and heartbreak and not getting right there and seeing that trophy, and then it's going somewhere else. And so this year I saw it. I was like, oh, no. They determined. And
I like to add an addition of Drew Holiday made a big difference. Big difference.
Drew is one of the most underrated players and people. Yo, listen, when I say Drew, one of the best dudes, you
could tell he oozes it. You could tell like his brother was in Chicago for 3 years. We knew like that whole family is probably just solid, just family. The Holidays, they just,
they unbelievable. But I think that's important. That's why it is important drafting and then trades, free agency, to find that guy that's like, yo, he's gonna be, he's got great humility. He works hard. I love what Mike said. Like, people don't understand. He said, I never asked anybody to do anything that I wasn't gonna do myself.
For sure.
And we all men, so guys will look at you and be like, whoa, who you talking to? And then you're not doing it.
Right.
So that's just like me telling my kids, hey, y'all clean up. But every time they look, I got clothes and stuff thrown anywhere. They're gonna be looking at me sideways soon.
Yeah.
So it's the same way. It's like, hey man, like
but that's the thing. Like Mike said, I mean, but people would say, all his teammates say, you can't out-practice him.
No, they said the practices was harder than the games.
Exactly. But as I'm saying, like he's before he's there before everybody else. He's lifting, he's running, he's doing whatever before everybody else. And that just speaks volumes, along with Mike was just a tenacious guy. So, you know, you can hear all the stories and stuff.
Yeah, because think about this. If he's there early, he's doing everything, and he's your best player, you're going to be all eyes when he says something. You know what I mean? You're not going to be like, man, he's saying all these things, but he's not doing it. So what are we talking about? Actions speak louder than words. He's just out here yelling and cussing at everybody.
Yeah.
But when you do it, and then you say it, now they like, yo, he doing it. So I can't get mad. I got to do it too. And so it just helps you in your leadership. It helps you be able to direct guys and talk to guys. And you know how it is. The hardest working man, most people going to be like, oh, all right, like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to him, because not only is he doing it, his players speaking on it. Man, we can't. Nah, Micah, they became scared in a sense. Like, nah, this dude, he gonna MF me. Nah, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Hey, so speaking of Mike and being a leader, I know that you played for Golden State. Was it 2010, 2011?
Yeah, 2011.
So you got to see Steph and Clay when they were babies in the league.
Yeah. So I go back further. Me and Steph grew up together.
I was about to say in North Carolina.
Yeah, so me and Steph played AAU together. So funny story. So Dale so it wasn't a lot of AAU teams. Now it's 50 million AAU teams.
Bro,
everybody create.
Don't get me started on the man.
Hey, Greg probably sees 1,000 of them a month.
And you know what? And real quick, before you go on that story, just real quick, because I'm 31, I'll be 32. I graduated high school in 2010. But from 2006 to 2010, I remember everybody didn't have an AAU team. No. Even at that time, the coach had to see you play and say, "Hey, come play for me." Yep. You had to, or I was the kid that, you know what, Greg, you got something, but you're not ready yet. Yeah. So come meet me at 5 a.m. in the gym. We're gonna run these drills. We're gonna run these plays. That was me. Yep. A lot of these kids, they need that. Yep. Like, yo, it's something there, but you're not ready yet. But go ahead. I'm done.
And I agree with that. That's why, like, it's funny. That's why I kind of started the AAU team, because for me, like, it's all about development. Who you are today won't be who you will be tomorrow and be down that road. And so I think that's important. I think it's important to be real. I think now these days, kids don't understand the difference. And we as people sometimes don't understand the difference between criticism and hating.
Yeah.
Like, criticism try to make you better. And if it's the truth, you got to get better. That's not hating. You know what I mean? Hating is if we see Bron out there.
That's profound.
You get what I'm saying? Like, if we see somebody that's great and we hating on that, now that's hating. That's literally, oh, he can't do this. He can't. We're watching him doing that. Dog, you drunk? Like, that's when we start looking. But if you see somebody with it's in anything. We see somebody with a glaring weakness. Hey, man, you got to work on this and that and that. That's not hating. That's just basically saying, if you want to reach whatever goal you want to reach, you got to get better at these things. And that's why I think the 14 years I played in the NBA, I was able to, like, grow each year, because for me, it was all about, okay, they're telling me I need to work on something. They're trading me here, which is okay. My next move is my best move, but it's a reason why they're trading me. So I need to, what do I need to do? How do I need to get better? What do I need to grow? So I think that's in general. But so yeah, in Charlotte, I was with Steph, and like you said, like, I played in the YMCA league. My dad started the AAU team. And that's what I love about my dad, man. He started the AAU team off of, y'all remember a girl by the name of Ivory Ladder? So,
yeah, for sure. Ivory,
Ivory was cold. The first girl I played, man, when I say the first player, girl, whatever the case is, she was killing me in jump soles. I know y'all remember jump soles.
Not jump soles. She was killing you in jump soles? Trying to get
not the jump soles.
Get her vertical together.
She was the most. She used to hoop in jump soles. She was the most. I'm telling you, when I used to watch her, she was the most fun player. And, like, how she played at Carolina, that's how she played. I think she got I know she's got the South Carolina record for like 4,000 or 5,000 points in a year.
Yeah,
So
Ivory was cold.
Ivory was cold. My goodness, she was cold. So Scotty Carolina Stumpers. My sister played on that AU team, and it was Natasha Brackett ended up going to Auburn. It was Leah Metcalf went to Carolina. They had a couple of talented girls that went. My sister was actually really good too. She just decided like, nah, I'm cool. So it's funny. So my dad spent off of that, got the boys, and then he got some guys who weren't as, you know what I mean, from his church league. We had a church league team, and so we brought some guys, Ken and Keith. Ken ended up going to Auburn. Keith went to VMI. We had some couple kids play big time high school basketball. But at the time they weren't as good. Like, you get what I'm saying? It was like a situation where people was like, oh, okay, we not that good. I wasn't that big. None of us was that good. So my dad was just like, yo, we're gonna work. And so then we started getting better. And as we started getting better, people was like, hey, like you said, G, like, I want you to come and play on our AU team. So I don't know if y'all remember this team. It was in Charlotte. The team I named was Charlotte Royals. So I joined the Charlotte Royals. And like I said, there's about 6 or 7 teams in North Carolina at the time, Charlotte at that time. So it wasn't a lot. So Charlotte Royals was pretty big time. It was sponsored by Nike. So I'm hyped. I'm like, I'm going to nationals with the Charlotte Royals. Because we didn't make, at the time, it was pool play. State. You didn't have all these like tournaments all over the place.
Right. Yeah, no, it was very exclusive.
Yeah, it was pool play. You played pool play by the state. And then if you played, you won your pool. Then you go to states and you had to finish like top 6.
Yep.
Then you win your state, then you go to nationals. And nationals, that's when you see everybody.
Everybody, yep.
Everybody. Matter of fact, I don't even remember dudes having Nike chains. It was just like Russell jerseys. It didn't matter, like reversible jerseys. Dudes were just out there. And so I played that year with them. And then the next year, the Royals, we didn't make it to states. Charlotte Stars saw me, which was ran by Dale, and I was 12. And we was going to Virginia Beach. Funny story. We were going to Virginia Beach. That's what Nationals was.
Okay.
So they picked me up for Nationals, and I ended up playing with them for about 2 or 3 years. And I tell y'all guys this. I told my mom this the other day we was talking. I said, Steph, when I say he could shoot back, it's an understatement. Like, the only thing is that his dad like got his trajectory higher. But when I say I seen him make like several times 13 threes in a row, 14 threes in a row. I'm talking one time we was playing out in Sumter, South Carolina in the Super Regionals. Gee, I don't know if you remember the Super Regionals that like if you didn't make it in states, then you go to a Super Regionals. If you win the Super Regionals, you can get into the Nationals.
Yeah.
So we used to go to Super Regionals, but we were in, so we would just play. We knew that was the top teams there. So we go to Sumter, South Carolina. Steph hit 12 threes in a row. And this last 3, he hits in front of our bench. And this guy just takes off running and clotheslines him into the seats. But when I say that thing hit nothing but cotton, like we was like, it was a big old fight, big old brawl. But that's our kind of relationship. And Steph he kept growing, kept getting better. And he could always, they was trying to say, can he play the point? And so what happened was he told his mom, this is what I love. He's a man of great faith. And I always say this about him. And people don't understand it, but I'm like, Steph's about 6'3", 185.
Yeah.
He's one of the best shooters we've ever seen. But I truly believe that the Lord blessed him through like family. So if you watch now in the NBA, it was a time when like, y'all know this, NBA didn't get a good rep. Like,
no, they didn't.
Well, man, what dudes had baby mamas there. It was just all over the place. And then all of a sudden, Steph became this guy that was like, I met my high school sweetheart. I love her. Mm-hmm. I married her. Mm-hmm. And we got this happy family. Like, we actually, like, you can go through the NBA with all these distractions and all these things, temptations around, and be solid, 10 toes down.
And that's another reason why I love Bron. For that reason.
The family aspect, for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I can't stand him on the basketball court, but LeBron, the personal guy.
And that's what I'm saying. But think about it. You start falling in love with his family, the people, and so that's why I always say, not only was Steph blessed on the basketball court, he brought the Lord really utilized him and his family. And now all of a sudden, everybody like, you hear him rapping, they all talking about, I want me Aisha. I want, like, because what he said is like, yo, I love her. And this is how I'm going to start. Like, come on. And I remember, like, it was just a little insight. Sadell is the sister. Aisha and him was dating. And so she was in California doing her acting thing, and Steph was playing for Golden State. And I remember, like it was yesterday, told me, they was like, Dale told Steph, like, hey, man, you need to go ahead and marry her, or you need to go ahead and y'all just date from a distance.
That makes sense. That's something I would tell my kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, it's stressful.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Steph, being who he's been his whole life, been obedient. He was like, "Yo, I love her. I'm gonna marry her. I'm not gonna sit around and play around or whatever the case is." And sure enough, they got 4 kids later and 5 MVPs and I'm sorry, 2 MVPs and 4 championships. But people don't understand, like, that's who Steph is, and he don't think that much of the game. He just play. He just got this. That's how he always been.
Yeah, he's a kid. He's a big ass kid. That's what I see. Whenever I watch,
I love it.
He's a big ass kid playing basketball.
But he's super competitive.
I get that, but I'm just saying the joy he has is more like he never lost his joy for the game.
Yeah,
he'll do that basketball. Then he'll go out there and play golf. He was really a good golfer growing up. Yeah. But that's who Steph is, and so everything he's got, I'm so happy for him. But I was there when they first got started, and I'm telling you, we was just talking about it right before you got on. I don't know why Coach Jackson ain't got no coaching job.
I don't want to get started with that.
I want him to come to the Bulls so bad, Ray.
Man, listen to me when I say Mark Jackson not being a head coach is the most egregious thing.
It's criminal.
Yeah.
That I've ever seen. It's criminal. And you could give me 1,000 explanations as to why he's not a coach. Yeah. And I would say, fuck all of them. I'm not even playing. Like, I'm dead ass. Like, that's ridiculous. Like,
I don't know what he did.
I mean, it doesn't matter what he did. It's been what, 10 years? 15?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Stop.
Yeah, man.
Stop. It's just ridiculous. But then you get somebody like, what's my man who just lost his job after a year?
Monty Williams.
Like, come on. Like, that's just, so I don't even want to get into it because I'll get into my very, I'll get real deep into my blackness and start saying, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to keep it right here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've been around all these guys and you understand like the game of basketball like nobody else because like you've been around this game for 15 years.
The 14 years, right?
14 years. Yeah. So I mean, like that's at the highest level. Like I tell people all the time, they be like, "This is what I hate about fucking fans." Okay, this is what I hate about fans, and I'm just gonna keep it up, right? This guy sucks. He's trash.
Talk about it.
He's
talk about it.
This motherfucker, he can't do boom, boom, that, right, bro? You know how many draft picks is it every year in the NBA? 60.
Yeah,
that means
and 30 are guaranteed. The first 30 guaranteed.
Right. So the first 30 are guaranteed, but you got 60 dudes a year out of every kid in America that plays basketball that can make it to the league.
And don't forget the international guys overseas that are still trying to get in.
Right. And so you got the international guys, you got people in the Philippines trying to make it, Mexico, freaking Brazil. They trying to get into this league, and you want to call somebody on a NBA team trash that would drop 50 on you on his fucking worst day?
Like, and you know what's crazy, Ray? And I got a question for you, Ish. I was listening to CJ McCollum. He was on a podcast. I think it was I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, I think it was Barstool. But they asked him, what is a normal shooting routine like for an NBA player, right? He said if it's something quick, 45 minutes, he will go in and try to get 100 shots up, right? 100 3-pointers. He said on a bad day, he's shooting 65. He said that's bad.
Yeah, he could.
He said, but on a good day, he's hitting between 90 and 95.
Yeah, he can.
That's stupid.
Yeah,
that's insane.
You want to say like this? That's CJ McCollum. I'm saying people like I'm just gonna keep it a buck. People in Chicago, we love our guys. We love our ball players, right? So like you want to talk about somebody like Tony Allen, who wasn't an offensive guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a damn. Tony Allen can ball.
Patrick Beverly.
Bad.
Average 30 in high school.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like, come on. Tony transferred his game to something else when he got to the league, but he could put up 50 if he wanted to.
Yeah, and that's the thing that guys don't kind of understand. Like everything is opportunity, and then you got to figure out your role. I'll tell y'all a funny story. So I'm coming in my rookie year. I was in Houston, so you got to understand this. Brad Miller, Yao Ming, Shane Battier, man, Kyle Lowry, Aaron Brooks, who was cold, Kevin Martin,
cold,
yeah, Jared Jeffrey. Man, we had a veteran team.
Yeah,
and we was trying to like, Chuck Hayes. Still remember Chuck? It was we had a veteran locker room. Me and Patrick Patterson was the rookies that came in, and I know I'm missing some guys, but we had came in and
that motherfucker.
Yeah, Pat, yeah.
That was your old teammate at Wake Forest, right?
Huh?
That was your teammate at Wake Forest, right?
Who, Patrick Patterson?
Yeah.
Heck, they beat the crap out of us in the NCAA championship game. I mean, in the NCAA second round. This was John Wall's year. My last year was me and Al Farouk. And man,
that's who it was. That's who it was.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I remember that. I remember that because I was watching John Wall because you know who had just left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know who had just left. I don't know if I talked about him yet, but we can't get you out of here till we talk about that man.
I got you. So we played against them. They beat the draws off of us, and so then we ended up. So then I'm getting ready for draft, whatever the case is. So I signed in Houston. I go undrafted. I signed in Houston, and I remember we getting ready for preseason game. And this is when I started realizing, like, you got to find your role. So we played Dallas. You know how it is. At that time, it was 7 preseason games. I don't know if y'all remember that. It used to be 7 preseason games.
Yeah.
So you was going to have an old head sit like 3 or 4 of those games. And so we had Coach Adelman. We was going to try to make one more push. So we had everybody healthy. Yao just came back healthy. Everything. It was all copacetic. So we had those guys that played a couple of games. So we're going to play Dallas. And so this is the year, I didn't know this at the time. Obviously, none of us did at the time. Dallas won it all that year. But we sitting there and I'm looking across. This is my first real game. So I'm watching this preseason game. I'm looking across like, dang, that's Jason Kidd, okay. Like, I'm going to go with him. He a point guard. He a pass first point guard. Okay, cool. Jason Terry, like, I know JT. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I see what he's on. Okay. Brandon Haywood, I know who that is. Like, you just kind of like, whatever the case is. Let me tell you. Man, I didn't know who he was, but I found out who he was at the end of the game. J.J. Barea.
Oh, come on.
Let me tell you something.
Son of a gun.
Man, let me tell y'all something.
Go ahead.
We talking about.
Hold on, let me turn on this light real quick.
Little bit JJ that locked up LeBron
like
in the finals.
That's what something, man. He is something. I want Ish to tell us. I got to hear it from Ish. Ish got to tell us this.
So I'm sitting there. And come on, Ish. Light and bad, man. Dang, I'm out here looking like
you good.
So I remember like it was yesterday. We sitting there and JJ Barea he played about 20 minutes and he had 12.7 assists. And when I say he dominated the whole, like when he was in the game, they played with a different pace. They played with a different rhythm. It was like, and they ended up going up by like 15. And it was kind of even. And then I came in the game and JJ came in. Our backup minutes was 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Came in the game. Man, JJ was running circles around me. The pace picked up. The flow picked up. He was just, change direction, layup. Change direction, kick back, 3 ball. It was like such a quick pace. So I get in. I get on the bus and I'm, kind of not wanting to talk to my mom. So I talked to her like, hey, Mom, how you doing? Like, you doing all right? How's everybody? Gerald, my brother, he's in college at the time. Like, this is my sister. Let's talk about the real thing. What's up? That boy JJ Barea killed you tonight. But I remember then, because I did not know who he was, but I remember then, if I want to make it in the league, my role gonna be like JJ Barea. And I knew that at that age. I was like, because I did 4 years of college, but I was able to swallow my pride and be like, man, I saw Jason Kidd and that was great. He's a Hall of Famer. I saw Jason Terry. I think he's a fringe Hall of Fame. But you know what I mean? Like he's a great player.
Great player
of the year.
I love Jason Terry.
Yeah, and then you see the other guys is around. But I remember telling myself, like, if I want to be successful in this league, I said, Mom, I gotta be like JJ Barea. Because I got the speed. I just need to know, like, when I come in, and it took me a couple years to figure that out and how to do it. But at the end of the day, I walked out and I was like, yo, I gotta be like JJ. So JJ, if you hear this, I appreciate you, bro. And that's my guy.
Yeah,
that's
but you basically, to me, you figured that part out by the time you got. I want to say you was in Orlando.
Yeah,
yeah. I think you kind of knew exactly what player you was. But when you left Golden State, you knew this is how I get down. This is how
I gotta play. Yeah, and you're just waiting for the opportunity. Guys don't understand. You're just waiting for the opportunity. That's all it is. It's kind of like playing double dutch.
Yeah,
you sitting that rope going. And you seeing it going, and you like, man, when is my opportunity? This team might not get the opportunity, that team. But when it's time to jump in, hey, man, you better start jumping in. And you can't miss a step because somebody else behind you, like, trying to.
Like, that's why, like, you know, like, Chicago is notorious for embracing people, you know, like that. So there was a 3 or 4 year span where there was backup guys that came here and became beloved. You know, this is you know, John Harris III. Is it John Harris?
No, I know you're talking about
Lucas.
John Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas III. This is the former slam dunk champion who still in Chicago is just insane. What's his name? God damn, I just had it. Nate Robinson. You know what I'm saying? You know, remember them? It was them years. It was Nate Robinson. What's my man who had the little jumper? He was nice with it.
Was it John Salmons?
Oh, no, not Salmons.
Yeah, we can hear you,
brother. We can hear you. Not Salmons. So I'm talking about the little short point guards that we had. It was like Lucas 1 year. Then it was like Nate Robinson for a few years. There was one more.
I know we had Aaron Brooks too.
Aaron Brooks was one. Yep, Aaron Brooks was one. But it was one more that I'm like, I can't put my. I'm looking at him. I can't call his name. But he was just like he was an irritant. DJ Augustine.
Yeah, DJ Augustine. He was good too, man.
But that's what I'm saying. It was them. It was like a 5 year span where we had these backup point guards who was just nasty. You know what I'm saying? And they was just like beloved in Chicago because we just love hard workers. So like had you come to Chicago, Chicago would love you because you worked hard. You know what I'm saying? Like Chicago is just like very much like if you do your job, we're gonna love you.
Yeah. But y'all love that. See, this is the thing people don't understand. Basketball in Chicago is like was from high school. Like I remember playing against man, I remember like it was yesterday. Remember the kid Jerome Randall?
Yeah.
Ooh, Jerome Randall. I want to say D Rose was on the team. It was another guy that was on the team. I can't even think of the team. It was Ferrari or whatever team it was on. When I say that was the first time I've seen 3 dynamic guards just going to get it.
Yeah.
I was like 14 and we watched them play and it was like, yo, that's Derrick Rose. But Jerome Randall was a kid I saw. I was like, yo, this kid is cold. Could shoot it, was fast, quick.
Yeah.
Man, Rome was, I'm talking about cold. I'm like, and this is what guys don't understand. Like a kid like him is talented. We was in a couple of draft workers together. And I'm like, yo, there's no way I can guard a dude that's this fast and can shoot it at this. Like, what you gonna do with a dude who can play at that kind of pace?
Yeah,
D Rose the same way.
Yeah, so we, you know, going. Let's kind of get there because I know it's almost 1:30, so an hour 30 is what I'm saying. I don't know if you talked D Rose yet, right? But Greg, what did Stacey King used to say? Too big.
Too fast, too strong, too good.
Yeah, and he would say that about Derrick Rose, but you had firsthand experience, and you played Derrick MVP Derrick.
Yes, sir.
You played MVP Derrick. I want to say like 4 times that year.
Well, because I was in Houston. They got traded to Memphis, and we had not seen him. I'm like, we still got to go to Chicago, and it's funny, man, because this is another thing that's hilarious. When I think back on that stuff, I remember playing in Memphis and like we having extra security. I mean, what do we got extra security going to Chicago? And everybody looked back there at Tony Allen. I said, oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. Tony a real dude out here. Tony a real dude out here.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
And TA, my guy, man. TA, like, just a side note before I get on D-Rose. That team in Memphis, that was the year that we took Oklahoma City to 7 games.
Yeah, y'all had Rudy Gay too, right?
Yep, Rudy.
Rudy Gay
Have you ever seen him miss a mid-range jumper?
No, Rudy's special. Rudy is one of my really good friends, man. We used to work out during the summer. When I say y'all don't understand, Rudy is like they got him listed at 6'9", but his length, his shoulders, Rudy like 6'10". Like I'm talking about at one time to me, Rudy, he was considered to me one of the top 3 guards in the league. Like he was like, yeah,
I mean, he's insane, but it's like that. I don't know if I've ever seen him miss a mid-range jumper.
Rudy, unbelievable, and when he get going, there's nothing you can do.
Right?
No, like I'm talking about, he was super special, and like I remember because he hurt his shoulder that year. So he hurt his shoulder that year and was out for the rest of the year. And that was the year when Grit and Grind was like birthed. Mm-hmm. And I remember that team, man. We was like, you had to be tough, like to play on that team. And I remember Zebo. Zebo was unbelievable, man. Tony. You had Mike Conley. You had Darrell Arthur. You had Mark Gasol, who I think he's knocking on the door of Hall of Fame as well.
Oh, like, for sure.
He was just like, these dudes were so good. Grievous Vasquez, my guy. They had a really good team. So it's funny, I remember his story, and I'm gonna get on D Rose because it's a lot to talk about him. So we're sitting there, and I remember like it was yesterday. We had just came back. It was the end of the season, and we had tried to, schedule it to play against San Antonio. And I know it sounds crazy, but we wanted San Antonio. It was the number 1 seed, so we was trying to get San Antonio. So all of a sudden, like the last 4 or 5 games, we sitting guys. So we come back from Clippers, which is, I don't know why Memphis is in the West, but we had just played the Clippers and then came back home and had practice that day. Yeah, in the earlier part of the NBA, when I first came in, you practice. Like it was like on some, now it's kind of a little bit more low management, kind of get, lesser is better. But during that time, oh man, it was like, if you ain't played 20 minutes, you was on the treadmill running 13 minutes on the incline. Like it was just constantly like going. So I remember we came back from the Clippers and some of the main guys had not played. So we came into practice, coach, we got back at like 2, 3 a.m. We coming in practice 11. And it was like, man, we're going to do some light shooting. And Zebo and Leon Poe, it's funny. Zebo rolls up on Leon Poe, and Leon, he comes up. Leon's like, yo, I kind of want to get some bump today. Like, what's good? And my guy, Lionel Hollins. God, I love Lionel.
Oh, man, y'all had Lionel on the team too?
No, Lionel was the coach. Lionel was the coach. So
wow.
So Lionel Hollins was like, y'all want to play? Yeah, coach, I'm trying to. When I say that was one of the best practices, I'm talking about they was going. Tony Allen and y'all forget OJ Mayo was on that squad. One of the most talented dudes.
He did one thing wrong in his whole life.
Man, look, Ish, I hate the fact that he got banned for the substances, but today's kids do not.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, Ish. Go ahead.
So they were going at it. Then you had me, Grievous, and Mike competing. And then you had Zebo and Leon going at it. Then you had Mark and y'all don't remember this guy, Amanda Dottie going at it. So, like, it was one of the Darrell Arthur going at it with Zebo. Like, it was like one of the most competitive practices I'd ever seen. And it was funny. That kind of, catapulted us to play against San Antonio and play well. But that team was, man, I learned so much from those vets like Zebo. I remember I had Shane Battier, Jameer Nelson, like so many vets throughout my time. It was so great. And those dudes was just, Kyle Lowry, they was unbelievable. That team was kind of special. But we come in and we in Houston to get back on the D Rose. And so I it's funny. My mom's got this list, y'all. We played at the Nike Hoop Jamboree. I was in the 10th grade. That was a blessing. Like a coach saw me. It was like, man, he had like I guess a couple, not tickets, but like a couple slots he can put guys in. He saw me play in high school and was like, hey, man, you want to go to St. Louis and play in the Nike Hoop Jamboree? I was like, yeah, I want to go. Like, yeah, like it was an invitation only, whatever the case was perfect. But my mom's got the list. is Derrick Rose was on there. Kevin Love was on. I didn't know like Michael Jordan's son. He was there. It was like all these guys who was there. That I'll go back and look at the list. And was like, dang, like I want to count how many guys like made it to the big, to the top level.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. At Derrick Rose, and I watched Derrick at Memphis because my really good friend that I grew up with, he's still to this day, me and him, cool. He helps me with my camps, great coach, Donnell Mack. So Donnell Mack played at Memphis with him. And so I used to watch to support Donnell. And I'm sitting there watching D Rose, and I'm like, yo, this dude is special. And he was special right away.
Yeah.
He was special right away. So when he came, people would question, could he shoot? Whatever the case is. When I came in the league, he had found his jump shot. I'm like, bro, why you ain't wait one more year?
Yeah, because he had that pull-up game by the time you got there.
Yeah. Free ball, too. People don't understand.
That free ball, yeah.
He shot 46 from the floor that year and 37 from three. And people don't understand, D Rose making threes, ain't nothing you can do, man. There was nothing you could do. And D Rose probably about 6'2", but he is, I'm talking about yoke and athletically. I always say Russ and D Russ is that's my dog. Russ and D Rose, they jump differently. So you got Russ is always jumping, Springboard trying to power.
Yeah.
D Rose is like, and then it's like this graceful. You like, yo,
right.
I'm telling you.
Man.
So we played against him. I don't know if y'all remember this clip. He hit the game tying shot against us when I was in Houston, sent it to overtime, and then he took over in the overtime. And he was just, he was so special, man. And Tibbs, kind of like how he's doing with Jalen Brunson, it's like how I look at it, it's like a quarterback that's throwing the whole game.
Yeah.
Like literally, he don't run the ball. So he just, and you like, D-Rose, you coming at me again, man?
Yeah.
Like it's another screen. Like he just constantly coming at you.
So as a point guard, is to stay on D-Rose, but to also talk to you about it. I've seen you do this move a couple times too. So here you got, you're coming off a screen and they're finna trap you. Why do you make the decision to split that?
Oh yeah.
So because D Rose would do that shit and he'd get to the lane, and that's when you would see him,
yeah.
Or you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying?
So for me, it was always a setup. So what I would do the first time is like come off and drag the screen out. Because I want the big to try to because it was a defense. So you got different defenses, and a lot of times when I first came to the league, guys were showing out because you had these Dirk Nowitzki's who were like these Kevin Garnett's.
We love KG, by the way.
Yeah, like these KGs. They would they could short roll and shoot that little 15-foot jump shot. So they wanted to stay attached to the big. So they wanted to stay attached to the big, and then the guard would navigate it through and get back in front. They got so many different defenses now, but at that time it's called show out hard. And so what I would do is try to drag the big out. When I drag the big out, throw it back. All right, try to get around the big, And that third time, I'm split that bad boy.
Yeah,
because the big now is anticipating the drag out. And then I'm small, so I'm getting low. He's not getting there, and D Rose would do the same thing. He would drag it out and try to use his speed to get around the big. Because I always try to tell the kids, if somebody's coming to trap you, two things you got to do is retreat dribble and either throw out of it or retreat dribble and find the weak leg.
The weaker of the two defenders.
The weaker of the two defenders.
Right.
So you drag out, you see the big is the weaker one, that's who you attack. So I would go off, and then the next time I would just split low and go low. And then now these two are behind me. Now we playing advantage basketball. And now
that's what I was saying. D Rose was so good at that, man. He was so good at just figuring out, okay, now I'm about to split you. Or he could get around anybody, but the split was so special because it was just it was like a devastating move to the big. He's so fast. He's at the rim now.
Right, it's a difference. We would split, and I get in the paint. And I'm like, oh, let me see. He would split, and he you would see bigs be like this. Y'all laugh. I'm being so serious. You know what I mean? You got because during that time it was like 7-footers. It was KG had, you know what I mean? It was KG. We had Yao. You had Memphis obviously had Mark.
Yeah.
You had Powell in LA. You had like
bigs.
Bigs, like everywhere. 7 foot. And then your 4-man didn't shoot threes. Dirk kind of started changing that. But your 4-man was like a short roller, or like a Brandon Bass, a 6'9", 6'10", brolic guy, a Joakim, a Taj. Like, you know what I mean? You had the 4s where Taj could shoot that 15-footer, and he was big and strong and defender. But you wasn't like out, you know what I mean? These dudes now, everybody out on the perimeter.
Yeah.
So D Rose was splitting dudes and like apexing with 7-footers. And so dudes was making business decisions like, no. I see, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I seen them poke on him the other day. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And you know what, man? One of my I played with him, man. And I know I can say this about a lot of guys because I've been all over the place, but Goran Dragić's my guy.
Oh, we love that. That's our favorite clip in Chicago.
Oh, that's
because of the call. The call with the play was
the IQ is impeccable, man. Impeccable, bro.
Bro, I still tell you to this day, I was watching it. I was in college, and because my teammate James Johnson came to Chicago, got drafted here in Chicago. So
we love James still to this day.
James a real one. Now, let me tell you something. I got some James. I got to come back and I'll tell you some James Johnson stories, man. That's my brother from another mother. So we sitting there, and I'm watching the game. You know, me and my boy Gary Clark, LD Williams, man. So Farouk, we sitting there watching. We all sitting there. Tony Woods, we all sitting there watching the game, and they playing in Phoenix, and like, you know, it's just a simple play going down, and he went up and he the king of putting that thing back here, and all of a sudden I'm like, yo, he's still going, and going coming down. It's like I've never seen anybody, man.
And it's like he jumped and sideways off two. Sideways.
I've never seen anybody. I'm so serious. Like, I've never seen anybody that athletic, man. You talking about for that year? I don't think people understand. D Rose that year,
unstoppable, bro.
And
he
like
took
him
to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, but see,
each one of them games was close.
Can I tell you a story about the year before that though? So the year before that, the people don't really talk about first round playoff series, but back then, you know, playoff series was seven games, and that Boston,
that's what I'm telling you,
greatest playoff series ever to me.
Him and Rondo was going at it.
I mean, because you had D Rose, you had Ben Gordon, who was just
shout out to Ben Gordon, bro.
Shout out to Ben Gordon, you know,
unbelievable.
John Salmons, Joakim,
that team was loaded.
It was insane, but you got
Todd was on that team too.
Who?
Todd was on that team.
Oh yeah,
too.
Todd was there. Yeah, but it's like you had to like I know you watched it, but like us watching it in the city, it became like this. Oh my God, what do we have here?
Yeah, man.
What do we have here?
You know what's funny too? It was a series where you had like two emergent. That joint was fun. As a point guard, it was two emerging point guards.
Yeah.
And people, I'm a huge.
But then Kirk Hinrich wasn't no slouch.
Man, Kirk Hinrich was cold, and Kirk Hinrich would fight you. Let me tell you something. Him, Steve Blake, man.
Oh, I heard about Blake.
Hey, man. Hey, them boys, y'all can think. You know how we used to think back in the day. Yeah. Oh man, we got. Yeah, all right. You fool with them?
No. We were sold on Captain Kirk in Chicago. Like Captain Kirk was that dude.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? And then when he went at Rondo, we was like, yo, forever Rondo. You know what I'm saying?
Kirk will fight. Kirk like that all the time, man. Kirk will fight you, man. Kirk a good dude though, man. But you talking about like, man, Kirk fans and competitive. Him and Steve Blake. So I say that to say though, when I watched that series, I was like, because I'm a point guard fan and I'm a huge Rondo fan and I'm a huge, D Rose fan. And a couple of years later, I'm coming into the league, but you sitting there watching, and people gave, a lot of slout, like a lot. They was on Rondo's head. He shouldn't be, whatever the case is. And that year, he just emerged. I was like, and then you see D Rose, and you like, man, this is first playoff series. You know you're gonna have some jitters. Man, no.
32 the first. I think he had 32, Greg.
30. He had like 30 every game, man.
He had 30 every game. And it's funny because as another thing as a point guard, when I think back, they were doing it differently, and this is what I love about it. Like, and this is why it bothers me when everybody be like, man, you got to play this way, you got to play what? No. Like, you can have a lot of different ways you play. D Rose was giving you 35 and 6 and busting, like, was killing you. And then Rondo was giving you 16, 12, and 8.
Yes,
like,
sir.
Doing it in a different, and it was based upon the team and how they play. So we got Paul Pierce here. And people sleep on John Salmon. That joker was cold, man.
Yeah, he was.
We know
Yes,
in the
sir.
city.
We know. I know how cold. See, me and Ben Gordon had the same agent at one time.
Yeah.
You talking about, man, BG?
Ahead of his Ben Gordon was ahead of his time, man.
Ben Gordon had a burner.
Ahead of his time.
Burner.
He had this snatch back and would elevate off the floor this high.
Yep.
Be like, if he played in today's time,
mean.
It's a lot of guys like that when I go back and I watch guys during the time. Like, think about it, how the league is now. If D Rose was at his peak now, because then like it was physical.
It was still physical, yeah. Back then, yeah, for sure. Because that's what Joe Kim even talks about it. Like, no, like it's different from his era. That's what he would say. Like, no, this is a different era than what I'm used to.
I used to be so scared. Certain times, like certain guys get a rep. Like, you know what I mean? You drive to the hole, they're gonna hit you.
Yeah.
And so, like, Ron Artest was one of the guys. You drive in there, you gotta have your hand on it. Yeah, or y'all know, like, KG, man, one of the most competitive dudes. But them teams, like, they talk so crazy to you. You be sitting there like this, like, man.
But KG,
good
man.
dude.
I have an admiration for KG just from coming from South Carolina and then being able to to find himself in Chicago.
Yeah.
At the high school where he was with one of the greatest basketball players to never make it, Ronnie Fields.
I heard it.
Whenever you get a chance, just type it in. I know you probably already did it, but YouTube. Ronnie.
But what was it? Why did
Ronnie was street. Ronnie was street. He was a part of that life. You know what I'm saying? He was in high school, but he was still a part of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's heavy. Now you hear KG always lower this, lower that. That's what they was. That's what that was. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
And so
it's funny. Is you talk about that era coming through the lane. So I go to the PIT every year here in Virginia, where all of the major D1 seniors come in. It's like
I went up to that my senior year.
Really? What year?
It was 2010, my senior year in high school. You said hold on. You said the Portsmouth?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, man. Yeah. That was
so I go up there every year, man, and I went to the luncheon this past year for the first time, which was cool. So met a lot of cool people. And being in line, I don't think a lot of people understand. You're 6 feet, I'm 6 feet. Yes. You and I shoulder to shoulder. But standing in line next to guys that are 6'6" and higher, and you talking about the guy 6'6", he's a point guard.
Yep.
And I tell people, I was like, yo, it made me put into like perspective guys like you, Isaiah Thomas, guys that are 6 feet, maybe 6'1", Allen Iverson. It's like, yo, these guys was every night facing this. I'm talking about standing amongst trees, bro.
Yeah. And it's funny because for me, like, I love playing against big dudes. The guys don't understand, like, the smaller guys are harder to play against.
Yeah.
Because they can get up, like Pat, them dudes get up under you. Like, everybody's like, man, we got to keep him out the lane. People try to do this with D Rose, Rondo. Man, just go on and keep him back. That's actually easy. Like, if you and people start understanding that with Rondo, like, yo, stop backing up. You got to start eating up that space. D Rose, John Wall, you got Russell Westbrook. When you play back on, man, that's a full head of steam.
Yes,
now
sir.
You playing the guessing game.
Which way is he going and how fast is he coming?
Exactly.
You don't know. And that guessing game, 9 times out of 10, you're going to guess wrong. Because if you do choose right, these dudes are so quick on Tony Parker. These dudes was like coming at you.
Oh, I couldn't imagine playing Tony Parker. Because he was just, it's like I hated him, but he was so good.
Best finisher at the rim, bro. A lot of people don't talk about that.
I hated that dude.
And TP was physical too. People don't understand. Like, he was physical. He would change directions, and if you still there, he going through him, Russ. That I know TP, they don't look like it, but and then if he's making that mid range, you done.
Yeah,
you done. TP was somebody where I watched. I was like, man, I can make a three here and there, but I want to get my mid range on point, and so that's what I started doing. I started being like, yo, let me, because I realized like I can get to the paint, and that's why I think guys got to do it. It's not you know what I mean. You got your own game, but you watch this guy, you watch that guy. You just pick up different things from different guys.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you can add it to your game. So I remember watching TP. He didn't miss. He get to that mid range when that thing was rolling. Oh, you done. But,
it was done,
but back on D Rose. D Rose, let me tell you something, man. Yo, no, I'm being so serious. Like, he was like, even the year Jeff talks about it on 520. When he was in Minnesota, he was cooking in.
Yeah.
Like he was cooking in Detroit. He was cooking in. He had a good year in Detroit. He had a good year. What was he at just before Memphis?
New York.
He was with the Knicks.
And he was cooking. They wasn't even playing the star point guard. They would play, and this takes nothing away from those guys. I love them. But they would play him for a little bit. I think it might have been Alfred.
It was.
Yeah, or the French dude. They had the French dude. I forget his name.
Yeah, the one they just traded.
Yeah. And so they had those guys, but it was D Rose that he was cooking in the playoffs, like cooking. And so D Rose, man, he was just so hard to guard because he like so shifty and so fast, so quick, man. Ain't nothing you can do. And his floater game is the most underrated. Like he would get up there and would be.
Yeah, like, it'd be something crazy off the top of his jump, and he's jumping, 20 feet in the air. You know what I'm saying?
And then his spin. I still remember the move, and like I said, I love Doe, man. That's my guy. Like both of those guys are my guys. But I still remember when they played against Boston the next year, after his MVP year, when he had the snatch back, the in and out snatch back, and then went in between two and finished. They actually played in the United Center against Boston, or maybe that was the year. His MVP year. It had to be his MVP year. And he split in between the two. I was like, KG and Perk right there. I'm like, he
was nasty, man.
The dude was nasty.
He was special. He was. D Rose was just a special kid. But like, you said point guards. Was Darren Williams physical?
Oh, Lord. Talk about D Will.
D Will was physical, and D Will was about 6'3". D Will, size-wise, is slimmer, kind of a little bit more cut up, but his body type is like Jamal Murray.
Uh-huh.
But when I say, but he was like a little bit more compact, shit. When I say he will put you on them skates,
yes, sir.
Saying what? D Will would like. D Will would he hit you with that, and then he skip it up in the air. Man, you just got to start backing up. But the thing about D Will is he could shoot. So it's like,
being a Illini fan growing up, you know what I'm saying? I saw the flying Illini, but then
D Will, Luther Head,
D Will, Luther Head, and what's my man? D Williams, not D Williams. It's what's his name?
little short guard.
Yeah, D Brown.
D Brown.
Yeah. So it was them three, and the game that I just when they played against Arizona in the final.
That was a fun game. I just watched it the other day.
And so if you watched the other day, like how did they come back?
I don't know how.
And it was insane.
Yeah,
and it was all because Darren Williams and Luther Head, and
it was unbelievable. And that was the first time I always watch like certain times and situations with like the guards and stuff kind of move. Yeah. And like I remember that was the first time I saw a team shoot a lot of threes, and they had three guards.
Yeah.
And then they had the pastor who would play the four and he could shoot. So they were literally playing 4 out.
Was Powell,
yeah. So they had 4 out, and then I think it was Augustine.
Yeah, yeah.
He could step out. He wasn't no back to the basket guy.
No, he was a shooting big man. Yeah.
So like it was the first time when you saw 5 out, and them boys would be playing fast and getting it up, and they was letting them. So that was fun to watch. Luther Head and D Brown was super fast.
Yeah.
Super fast.
Yeah.
But D Will, man, he was like.
But in the league, it's like D Will just decided that he was going to be physical.
Yeah.
Like I never realized he had a back down game until he got to the league.
Yeah.
Greg, you remember he would put people in a blender with the back down game.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And people don't understand. Jay Lynn's my guy. I hate to say this, but that game when like Lynn Sanity was going crazy, and D Will just was like, "Nah, I'm gonna let him know his levels to this," and he lit him up for like 40 in the guard. I don't know if y'all remember that.
I remember that. I do remember that.
Man, he was just putting on a show, like, and that's how D Will was. D Will, like, because Utah D Will was scared because he was just like,
bro, he was a top 5 point guard.
Bro, they would run UCLA pass, he cut off, and then he would post you, like you said. That was something that Jerry Sloan, God rest his soul, couldn't do with John Stockton. Mm-hmm. So what he would do is, that's a different wrinkle of the UCLA. So now he posted, and him and Boozer had a great connection. And then he wouldn't get it, then he would come off, and he would get it, and then they come right into a pick and roll. Listen, it was so hard to guard. And then he would get his ISOs, and when he get in between the legs and get to like running with the ball, like he gonna go, and then he jerk back and jerk. You like, it's like you gotta like, whoa, let me get my feet right. And all you can do when he gets to dancing like that is just like get space and contest.
Yeah.
And then for me, like he was just so much bigger, so it was kind of like, yo, like.
I mean, you've played against some serious point guards, bro.
Yeah,
like legit.
And Ray, this is the thing, and G, this is what y'all don't understand. Like now they'll be like, hey man, that's a more comparable size to you, so go guard him. So during that time, he the point guard, you going to point guard. That's how it was.
Oh yeah, if you're a 1, you guarding the 1.
You guarding the 1. No matter how tall he is, how big he is. That's what
ain't no switching.
You're playing against like what's my man in Chauncey Billups.
Yeah. And then you go to Milwaukee, you got 5'11" Brandon Jennings dropping 50 on people's head at that time too, bro. Yep. It's like, yo.
Hey, this is another dude that's cold from Illinois, man. I love this dude, man. I'm so happy he revitalized his career. Shaun Livingston.
Oh yeah, we was gonna talk. I wanted to talk about Shaun because Shaun from Peoria, but he's recognized for coming up here in the city and doing damage,
killing.
And he's another one. Does he miss mid-range jumpers?
No, he didn't. He didn't miss. He was hard for me to guard because he would take me to the deep waters, man. And all I can do is contest here, but he's 6'7".
Yeah.
So he would just get to his spot and just shoot over you. You know what? I remember growing up. I don't know if y'all remember this. I used to watch this show. I'm telling you, all y'all shows used to come down on North Carolina. Chicago Hoops. It was on Fox Sports Net. So they had Sean Dockery was on there. What's my guy? Cole, man. He went to Arizona, then went to Georgia Tech. Will Bynum was on there.
Oh yeah, Will Bynum. Yeah, he's from the hood. He's from the hood. Yeah, but go ahead. I love Will. Yeah.
Yo, they was on there. So I used to watch. I think Eddie Curry was on there one time. They just had like guys all over the place.
Yeah, Chicago Cats just talking ball. Yeah.
Listen, when I say I used to watch them dudes play, I used to be like, yo, it used to come on like Fox Sports. Man, what? That was always fun to watch. But y'all got some hoopers, man.
There's some hoopers up here, bro. There's some hoopers. Like people sleep on. What's my man that went to Simeon? And he playing overseas. That he just had an interview where everybody was like, "Yo,
Jabari Parker."
Jabari.
Yeah.
Jabari, yeah, bro. If it wasn't for injuries, he would still be.
But that's what I'm saying. People would be like, Jabari this, Jabari that. No, Jabari's and he's big as shit. Like I didn't realize how big he was.
Yeah, he's like what 6'8",
6'9", 6'10".
And then on a low end, who was still a dog, Jahlil Okafor.
Oh,
I played with Jahlil in Philly. Man,
you sure did. Yeah, bro.
Man, let me tell you something. I ain't never seen him. If you throw him the ball, this is what's funny. When we used to throw him the ball, we knew it was a bucket. He like led the league, I think, in post up scoring. That R was top 5. And like, you know how they do them points per possession or whatever the case is. He was like, we would just throw him the ball. so people would have to start doubling him. But Jaleel was special. I think I feel bad for Jaleel because
the game has passed his position.
Yeah, he was more traditional big in the game.
So that's Greg talked about that before, where it's like the NBA, and you know this more than anybody is. It's like when you said them big guys was playing, Jaleel was just a victim of circumstance of his game didn't translate to the game anymore.
Yeah, because it's funny because I'm telling you, Lord, he shined on me and blessed me with the timing. Because when I came out, it was fast. That's what they wanted. Fast point guard. Fast. If you were big and fast, that's better. But they want speed. You had Tony Parker. You had John Wall. You had Brandon Jennings was there. You had, and then Steph turned that bad boy. So now what guys are looking for now is those combos who can score with the ball, without the ball. And, you know, that – I tell people all the time, everybody's like, man, who's tougher to guard? Kyrie or Steph? You know, you get those questions in camp. I said, I'm not being biased, but Steph. They said, well, why? I said, well, let's think like this. It's levels of scoring, and Steph can score at all of those levels. So let's say we get into a playoff series, and we're like, all right, this is what we're going to do with Steph. Let's take away his pick and rolls. Okay, well, let's scratch that off. All right, let's take away transition. Okay, let's scratch that off. Now, coach, we can't take out. Well, you just work with me. Then you say he's a great finisher, at the rim. Okay, let's scratch that off. So we got to make sure that we can test. Okay, when he passes the ball is when he's the hardest to guard. Okay, coach, we can't scratch. He's the most well-conditioned, so he's doing it for 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Literally, doing it for 40 minutes.
He's doing that shit around the damn.
Yeah.
He's running behind this man for 40 minutes.
And he's still laughing at you, shaking like for 40 minutes. And so once you get all that down, now transition, he's coming down, and you got to stop him at 45 feet because he going to pull, you know what I mean? And then on an offensive rebound, that's when you like,
where's he at?
Because once he hits one, it's over.
Yeah.
You done. It's like back in the days when you got like, I'm sure in the Chicago Stadium or back in United, MJ getting a dunk. It's like,
momentum.
Like a 3-ball is you done. You done. And him and Clay, I hate to see that maybe Clay might be going somewhere else, but them dudes with Draymond, they were like a perfect marriage. They were just perfect. Like
Greg remembers the game, and you probably seen it too when he set the record for Clay set the record in the first half against the Bulls.
I saw that game. Oh, that was the year they won 73 games.
It was dumb. This month
10 dribbles, bro.
Yeah. Clay, man. Clay's
unreal.
How you got a burner like that?
Unreal, man.
And Clay 6'7". Clay 6'7" can defend. He can shoot. I hate, people don't understand, man. Like, injuries is a part of the game. It's just gonna happen. And that's why we commend the MJs and the Bronze, those dudes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure Larry Bird could have played like 5 more years, but his back just gave out.
Yeah.
You had Isaiah Thomas, Chicago Isaiah Thomas. Like, he could have played a couple more years. His body was worn out. His body, towards Achilles. Like, you just kind of like eventually like.
I remember when Michael Jordan broke his ankle. I cried like a little baby. I was a kid.
Year, right?
That was his second year.
Second year, yeah.
I cried. I was in tears. No, not Mike is hurt. You know what I'm saying? But the injuries happen in the NBA. But Clay, like, I don't even know how you defend. I don't know how y'all defended that team. I don't know how y'all did it.
So let me tell you this. This is funny. When KD came, it became impossible.
Yeah.
So I
can only imagine.
So KD's my guy, man. I know KD since high school. Like, he still to this day. We were at NBA camp together, and he got MVP of NBA camp the year I went. And I remember he was sitting down, kind of by himself. And my dad had drove down, my cousin had rolled down, my dad, my brother had came down, and they were sitting at the table eating, and they chopping it up. And my dad probably not, he's like, oh, okay, how you doing, son? You a high school player, so how you doing? I'm Kevin Durant. How you doing, son? Nice to meet you. And they sitting there just talking, just at the table. And so then I had finished with my game, and I came up, sat down, and we talked. And so I remember I signed with Oklahoma City. And so me and Katie had always talked, and we was cool. We saw each other like. So when I signed at OKC, me and him became really, really tight. And I remember like it was yesterday. He was like, came up, was like, man, how's your dad? How's your brother and your cousin? I said, no, you still remember that?
Yeah.
He said, yeah, man, that was an NBA camp. That's the type of dude Katie is. And I remember when he signed with Golden State, I told him, I said, man, I love you, man. I'm proud of you, bro. And you made the decision, y'all. It was nothing we could do then. Right. Like, and I know I hate to say that, but like you add with that team who won 73 games with Kevin Durant. I've never seen anybody that play. I don't think we will ever see anybody. KD, Wemby, these dudes are like when you get on 2K and you create them. Yeah. And they like 7'3" or 6. KD 7 foot. He gonna lie to y'all, but it's 7'3", and you got a handle with a jump shot. That's some 2K stuff. Yeah. And so when you add them to that, it's like, man, we can't.
Yeah, and then like Draymond, like he was the perfect, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. When you watch, like, I'm not you guys are basketball guys. I'm more of a baseball guy, right?
Oh, okay.
But I love basketball because like I said, I grew up here watching Michael Jordan, so you can't help but be a basketball guy. But when you watch the intricacies of basketball, right? When you got a team, like, how do you make sure the ball gets to the people? You know what I'm saying? There's only one basketball. Yeah. You got Clay, you got Steph, you got KD. And for me, Draymond understood his assignment.
So it's funny. It's funny. I think because I love Coach Jackson, man. When I say I love Coach Jackson, man, that's my guy. I played with him in Golden State. He did my game when I was in in college they do these announcing swaps. So Dick Vitale then went to San Antonio, and then we played Carolina. So it was Mike Breen, who I love, man, and then you had Jeff, and then you had Mark Jackson. And Mark Jackson was the first guy who was like, man, I love his game. I think he's an NBA point guard. So me and him just, even to this day, like I see him, we got a great relationship. I remember we won the championship in Denver. He said, Ish, I'm proud of you. You really deserve it. And so that's my guy. But I remember his offense, and he had got them to play defense. He got them to play great defense. And so when Steve Kerr took over, the defense was already in place. They was already, people don't understand, was a top-tier defense. Offensively, what Steve did, though, that I got to give him props is, he kind of allowed Steph to be this hybrid. So Steph played with the ball, he played without the ball, and he kind of made Draymond the point forward. So if you remember before Steve Kerr came in, Steph was a point guard. He was coming off the screens. Yep, he was really good at pick and rolls. And then Jared Jack would come in and put him on.
I forgot about Jared. Yeah.
Fucking Georgia Tech, Jared Jack.
Yeah. And so they would put him off the ball. And then remember, Steve Blake was there a little bit. So they put him off the ball and let him, run. And so what they did was, and it's funny, Draymond the way he plays now is how he played in Michigan State. He's my same years in college. So he was always, people don't understand, 14, 8, and 7, or 13, 7, and 9, like rebounds. He, won Big Ten, Player of the Year, senior year. So he was always that kind of Swiss Army knife, but always a point guard, just always trying to help the guys, that great screen. Yeah. So, and he, even when the guys were talented, when he was younger, he would just play the roles, what he had to do. And so all of a sudden, it was a perfect fit because all of a sudden, I don't know if y'all remember, David Lee got hurt. So David Lee was the All-Star that year.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was cold.
He was lefty.
Yes.
Yeah.
That white boy was cold.
Yeah, so David Lee was the All-Star. Yeah, so David Lee was the All-Star, and Stephen got snubbed, and Clay was ascending, and Draymond was their backup, come off the bench, give him some energy, whatever the case is. So I remember like it was yesterday, they get what's the name? Lee gets hurt a couple games before going into the playoffs.
And he missed the whole next year. It was like an ACL or something like that.
Yeah. It was something wild, but he got hurt before they went into the playoffs. So then that's when they found out, oh shucks, like Draymond's spacing the floor. And I know Draymond's older now, so everybody's like, oh man, he can't shoot, he can do this. But people to forget, Draymond was shooting like 37, like he would have been Finals MVP if they win Game 7. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Against the Cleveland Cavaliers, he had 30 that night.
Oh yeah.
He was cooking. So Draymond was shooting and was shooting the ball well. So now all of a sudden it's spaced out, and he was a pass first guy. So now it's allowing Draymond to be the point forward, and now he's passing and following. He getting it in the pocket, short rolling, spraying out. He getting it, relocating, dribble handoff with Steph, and we had never seen it because now all of a sudden we thinking like, whew, we relaxed, and then Steph gone. So he was playing this hybrid role where he was playing like the point, then off the ball, then taking dribble handoffs. So they were just playing like actions. So like a lot of times you can get in scout reports, you got plays, okay, this is their plays. With them, they were so random. You didn't know how to deal with them. And then that second unit was just as strong with Leandro Barbosa, Sean Livingston. You had Maurice Spates. They were loaded. You had Zaza. I don't think Zaza was there yet, but he ended up winning a couple of championships with him.
But then you throw KD in the mix, and now you got 3 dudes shooting from 30.
Yeah, that's what made it hard. And when you stop, so once the next year, the 73 games, when they won 73-9, and they ran through, they should have lost to Oklahoma City. That's who they should have lost to. And then they get by OKC, and then Cleveland, they jump out on Cleveland, and then, the intentional foul, they suspended Draymond, and then they find some rhythm and some momentum. And now all of a sudden the next year we like, oh, okay. Guys have now got the book on how we're going to guard them. This is the problem. When you add KD, now you like, all right, once we guard all this, then all we got to do with KD is be like, all right, just get us a bucket. And then you got a space. Can't nobody help because we got 4 shooters.
Yep.
So it's like, and like I said, people forget Draymond was shooting the ball well during that time. So it's like, how can we do? What can we do? So we can't. So he on an island by himself. Ain't nothing you can do. And now you got this Klay Thompson who's emerged as an all-star.
I mean, I don't understand. Like, it's you literally watch some of the guys that just will go down in history as top 100 basketball players of all time.
Yeah, bro. And
it's been a lot of our era. I'm not saying it's better. No, I'm not saying that. The guys are very skilled. Even the kids, I'm watching the games when we doing it. These kids is different level of skill. Because for me, when I was coming up, all we did was just hoop. Yeah. So like I ain't had no trainer been like dribble to it. Nah, my dad be like, man, you need to work on your left hand. So he dropped me off to my cousin's house, Monty, who played JV at Carolina, and was like, yo, you don't get a chance to use your left hand. I was like 8 years old. So I was out there crying, dribbling my left hand, and was losing the ball. He's like, I don't care. You ain't gonna never lose your left hand. You're going to brush your teeth with your left hand. You're going to pick up stuff with the left hand. You're going to make your left hand strong. So that was like the training, whereas now guys are very skilled. You see guys like Luka, Jason Tatum. These dudes are 6'6 plus out there handling the ball like point guards. You like, bro, back in the days, it was like you would just be over there on the wing, and then I'd throw you the ball. So the game is skill. I'm not saying it's better. I think each era, we stand on the shoulders of each era. That's just the facts.
I like that.
Yeah, we'll never disrespect, man. Are you serious? Man, I can't tell you how I be in the 90s and 2000s. Man, what? These dudes was big, strong.
Could you imagine like somebody like what's my man? He was a point guard. Golden State. Oh man, I can't think of his name right now.
Monte Ellis?
Huh? Hardaway?
No, I'm talking a little bit later. He's from LA. He's from LA. Real LA.
Baron Davis.
Baron Davis in this league right now?
Man, I can name a lot of guys like that. Monte too during that time. It's a lot. Guys don't understand like how talented Steven Jackson is. Like they would allow him to have a basketball more. I'm just talking about just that Warriors team. Just that Warriors team, like
AK-47.
Yeah, even when you feel like a Matt Barnes. Like think about like a Matt Barnes. In today's era, he would be averaging. He get like 15 a year because he's a perfect 3-and-D guy. He play hard. He do everything you need. Like, he would have got paid. And but that's just tons. Listen, I can name tons of dudes that in this era, like especially the skill wise. Rasheed Wallace in this era, man, what?
Yeah,
nasty.
I mean, insane.
But like Francis. I said,
Steve Francis.
I forgot he was another one.
So, but I'm saying, like, I take nothing away, but the guys now, extremely skilled. Yeah. And they can play a lot of different ways. Like,
and that's why I love Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson got his chops right here.
Yeah.
People forget he's from Chicago. I don't give a damn what his numbers or wherever he played ball here.
Yep. Jalen Brunson is tough. Jalen Brunson is tough.
And he's what, 5'10"?
Yeah, on a good day. If you stand on a good day. But he's tough and he brings the fight to you. So he going in your chest.
And Greg loves it because he's a lefty.
Yeah, yes, sir. And speaking of another guys you play with that are going down in history, you played with Joel Embiid too.
Yeah, Joe. It's funny, man.
You did?
Yeah, you played with Joel Embiid.
2 or 3 years ago?
Nah, so it was when we was trusting the process.
This is when Philly was bad.
Oh my goodness!
So Ray, let me give you a little. Let me give you a little rundown because G probably know about this, but let me give you a little rundown. Because it's funny, man. Because people, I've been all over the place. So people, they talk about the time when, especially when I'm coming in Philly, they be like, "Yo, Ish, we love you in Philly, man." TJ McConnell, myself. When I think about that team, TJ, myself,
I didn't like
Isaiah Cannon.
Now that I think about it,
you had Robert Covington.
Oh yeah,
Jeremy Grant. So like we actually had some. Hollis Thompson was on the team, but I was, those 6 guys went on and had relatively solid NBA careers. So I say that to say we. I like the idea what they came with, and it opened up. I don't care what nobody said. It opened up opportunities for us. So you talking about a kid who had been a journeyman, and then I finally get a chance, and they traded for me the first time, and I got traded from Oklahoma City, and then I right away the last 26 games averaged 12-5. So I'm like, you get a little bit of confidence. Now throughout my whole journey and path, my head is thinking like when I'm playing against Jameer, when I'm playing against Russ, I got to play well against them so I can gain confidence. So when I do finally get a chance, I got to play well. So all of a sudden, I get there, gain some confidence. So Joe isn't there that year. Yeah, Joe is there that year. Mm-hmm. So me and him are sitting on a plane together. And we would sit beside each other. And when I tell y'all, no lie, every time I tell Joe I'm proud of him, but when I say he told me this, we would sit on a plane. And Joe would be like, Ish, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. He said, next year, I'm gonna play about 35 games, 40 games, and I'm going to kill. And they're gonna give me the bag. I'm gonna tell you, like, Ish, like you haven't seen me play, like you just see me work out, but watch next year. Sure enough, the next year I signed in Detroit. And when I signed in Detroit the next year, Joe he was kind of going on this like tour where he was trying to attack the bigs that was above him. So Andre Drummond was one of them.
Yeah.
It could be anybody. Mark, whoever the case, Gasol, who was. Yeah. I don't think Mark was in Toronto yet. He was in Memphis, so he wasn't on the East yet. But it was all the bigs that was in the East. Hassan Whiteside, like he was trying to go at their necks. Yes, and these were like considered the best bigs in the East, and he was just going at their necks. And he said it. He was like. And so every time he said, Ish, I told you, I told you, I played 35 games, killed. They gave him the bag the next year. So me and him used to have some deep talks. And I remember I worked out with him one time, and I used to throw a lot of lobs in Nerlens. So one time I threw like a bounce pass to Joe. He said, Ish, don't play me like that. Don't play me like that. But he's my guy, man. We used to joke, and we used to literally sit on the plane. And that team was such a tight-knit group. So we used to like just walk. I remember we was playing LA, and usually when you go to East Coast, get y'all insight from East Coast to West Coast, like you literally play the Clippers and the Lakers, or you might play the Lakers, fly up to Golden State, play Sacramento, then come right back and play the Clippers. So. You know what I mean? So we spend a lot of time. So we would go up there and let's say you play the Lakers and the Clippers. So you might play the Lakers one day, have a day in between, then play the Clippers. So
he played Jordan, DeAndre Jordan. So he probably was ready for that.
So no, but this was the time where he was hurt during this time. So I never got a chance. So we spent time together, but I never got a chance to play with Joe because Joe was hurt during that time.
Okay.
So when I was there with him, we would just talk. We just be sitting on the plane talking, fall asleep, wake up, talk. and we built a strong relationship. I'm so proud of him. But I never got a chance to play with him, but we was there 2 years together, just kind of like just him and TJ McConnell were really close too. But those guys, man, I love them, man. We had some times there, and I know people be like, man, why did I'm like, nah, it was an opportunity for all of us. Like none of us, you know what I mean? It sounds bad. Like, you know, when you think of the opportunity that was there for us, we took full advantage. The guys who did took full advantage of it, and they was able to keep going. So
it's just pretty much. Hey, Jazz, long time no hear from. Ain't seen her in a
What's
good
going
minute.
on, Jazz?
One of our friends, Jazz, she popped in. Shout out to Bull too. I see you. I'm not messing with you. Leave me alone.
and it's funny. It's funny you mentioned TJ McConnell. Well, my wife, when she sung for the Wizards, I was walking backstage, you know, going through the locker, you know, walking by the locker room, you know, meeting guys, and TJ McConnell came out. He had a drink in his hand. Nice guy, bro.
Oh yeah,
TJ McConnell is a nice guy.
Yeah,
so I'm happy to see him do his thing in Indy, man.
Yeah, and he'll come at your neck too. Like he's a little feisty. He another one.
Oh yeah,
you can tell certain cats. You be like, yo, that kid is one of them.
And if he came to Chicago, oh my goodness, y'all,
bruh,
you would love him. I know
love
him. I already know him. Yeah.
One of my partners that I ref with, he's from Pittsburgh. He played against TJ in high school.
Yeah.
And he said, Greg, I lie to you not. We was like, oh, who's this white boy coming? You know, we heard about him. He said, man, TJ lit him up, bro.
Yeah. TJ can play, man. TJ can play. But Joe was special. I played with KD. It's funny, the Russell Westbrook story is like this. Me and Russ almost came to Wake Forest. So he was deciding between. So I get a phone.
I remember you talking about that.
So I get a phone call from Skip Prosser, God rest his soul. He's like, hey, who's another Pittsburgh guy. He calls me and is like, hey, Ish, do you want to come up? We got this guy. He's kind of late signing. He's kind of deciding between UCLA and Wake. Like, you know, he hit a growth spurt late, and he was like, with the growth spurt late, like now teams are kind of on him. But he's waiting for like Jordan Farmar to make this decision. And if he makes this decision, we think we can get him. And I said, man, you think he'll come from like, you know, from California all the way over? He was like, I mean, he only got 2 top-tier teams. And so we thought we had a real chance. I know he would have probably went to like, you know, Russ is a super smart kid. Super smart. Like, he was like Stanford. Like, he could have went. He was super smart. And still, you know, he is a smart man. So all of a sudden, like, my coach called me and was like, hey, drive down. I remember my dad, he made me that summer, my best friend, Brian Pfeiffer. He used to drive me to school from my freshman, sophomore, and junior year. Pfeiffer graduated. It's still my dog. Like, it's my best friend. Me, him, and my brother, like, and my boy Chris from LA, we like this. And so those are my guys that's not in the NBA. It's like my really close friends. Yeah. And so it's funny. All of a sudden, I had to put down all these baseboards. My dad was like, throughout my school, my dad worked at First Assembly. And so I put on the baseboards. I got like $2,500 for them, bought a Honda Accord, 1993. So it's me. Unreliable. Unreliable. So Coach Skip called me and was like, hey, man, you know, you coming down? I was like, yeah, Coach, I got, you know, as soon as practice, whatever we got to do, coming down. So that was the first time I met Russ. And me and Russ were 17. And that was my guy, even then. So now, like, we end up playing in Washington together. That's my dude, man. Yeah, that's my dude. I saw him at the Kendrick joint yesterday.
Yo, you saw him, right? Yo, Russ was having the time of his life last night.
Yo, man. You talk, man. He was turned up, man. He was turned up.
Man. He's one of those guys I would love to see get a ring, man. He's just one of those guys that he's a teammate you would go to war with. You know
I mean? you would, man. And you know, I got blessed last year with like having the teammates we had in Denver, and Jeff and DJ. Them 2 of my best friends in the league. And so those guys, man, I was so happy for them to know their journey and Clippers and the time Jeff, heart surgery. So it's been those guys, man, those are my guys. But man, look, you got to have me back on here because I got so many more stories.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, we ain't realized we've been on for 2 hours and 20 minutes, but
I know my wife about to be calling me. Hey,
but this is how it was when we linked up in Virginia Beach, man. We was just sitting down talking ball, man, and so before you go, we were definitely going to have you back on. And I hit you up on the text with that. But
Yeah,
before you go, out of all the locker rooms that you've been in, which one? Well, it's two-part. How was it in the day of life of an NBA player?
Yeah.
And what was that like managing family, finances, friends, relationships? And then what was your favorite locker room?
So obviously it was the year we won the championship. But it's crazy because I had a lot of like special locker rooms. And that's why I tell you and Ray, like that was where you miss it the most, like the camaraderie, like the plane rides, the bus rides, the kind of mentorship. So when I first came in the league, a bunch of old heads. Like, it's just the facts. Like, it's younger now, but at the time, like, if you weren't 34 and 35, these coaches weren't playing. If you weren't in your 30s, these coaches weren't playing you because this is their job. They were old school coaches. They weren't going to play no rookie or no young guy and be like, hey, man, you know what I mean? You had some young teams that did that, but for the most part, nah, it was veteran guys all around. So I remember just the different lessons I think I learned from each locker room. Like I said, Denver, because we won a championship, that means the ultimate goal, some things got to go right for you. And you just destined to win. The Lord just destined you. You're going to win. Because if we go back and look, Minnesota didn't have all their guys, and Phoenix, Chris Paul got hurt, and just different things. The same way what happened to Golden State when they won their first championship. They won their first championship. None of the starting point guards played. Like, that's just how it goes sometimes. Boston, people can say, man, Boston, everybody was hurt. Yeah, but we can't, like, that's what happens. You just got to beat who's in front of you. So sometimes, you're fortunate and some of that stuff happened. I still think we would have won the championship, but that's just happened.
Yeah.
So that locker room was fun. We still on a mass text right now. We text all day, just laughing and joking. Those like my brothers for life. Like we talking about trying to do something every year where we kind of link up, whatever the case is. Me and DJ and Jeff, we talk literally every 5 seconds, 5 minutes. We on here, they texting about the JJ's joint, like you talking about, G. But I say that to say I learned so much from each guy.
Yeah.
And like when I was in Houston, I remember Shane Battier used to talk to me about finances and how you got to manage your money and how you want to live better out of the league than you did in the league. And so I just remember learning that. And then I got with Zebo. And Zebo had this way of like encouraging you. Like it was crazy. And putting your arm around you and being like, man, little bro, it's going to be all right. You're going to be all right in this league, man. And I love him for that. We had the same agent. Yeah. And hearing that you're a rookie and hearing that from the best player and you're not even playing, it go a long way.
Yeah.
And then when I got to Orlando, Jameer, man, me and him just talking the other day. Jameer, Chris Duhon, man, Quentin, Jason Richardson, Quentin Richardson, JJ, Dwight, man, those guys was like.
I love Q beloved out here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God,
Q beloved out here.
Man, Q, my God, like we just a tight knit group. And we always do stuff together. Yeah, like I remember that team, and I know I'm missing some guys on that team. Hedo, my God, hey, Hedo, so, but that's another guy. And this time he would be like Luka.
Oh my, him and Stojakovic would go crazy, man.
He would be like.
I couldn't imagine.
He would just be
hurt
like
in this era.
Oh my gosh, man.
What? And so
what they call him, the Serbian Michael Jordan or somewhere, wherever he was from. Man. He was nasty. I hated that cat.
Yeah, Memphis the same way. I had good guys as always was talking to me. Man, you got to be tough. You got to gut things through. Tony Allen gave me great advice. Guys were just constantly giving me great advice. Mike Conley, them dudes was unbelievable. Yeah. So each locker room was different. Phoenix, we were all young. Marcus and Markieff are probably, man, listen, man, I love them dudes, man. Marcus and Markieff, man, I love them dudes. Like, and I tell guys, you know what I mean, hearing that, man, love you, bro. But them two dudes, man, I love them dudes, man. I love their mom.
Shout out to all these cats in the league that you've been around, but them, man, awesome, them your boys, yeah.
Man, listen, those my guys, man. Like, when I say, like, the reason why I signed in Detroit was because of Marcus. I love Marcus. And then I had Keith. We played together in Phoenix. We were a tight-knit group. Goran got third team All-NBA that year. That was a year when we weren't supposed to be good. We won 48 games. Yeah, we were all young. Playoffs. Man, but we missed the playoffs by one game. That was the year we missed the playoffs. You had to win 50 games.
Oh wow! Wait, so y'all made it? Was it your first or second year in Detroit? Y'all went to the playoffs.
Oh no, it was my third year. We ain't
third
make
year.
none
Okay.
in Detroit, man. That was crazy. But
I hated you in Detroit, by the way. I wanted to say that one more time before you got.
Listen, when I say it was funny, because for me, but you know what is funny, and I'm gonna get to the rest of it. And
like you for real, like.
But Ray, you gotta understand, when I came, this is my role. When I came in, every time I came in, it was like, all right, this is how the game go. I'll be sitting over there, I'll be praying like, Lord, calm my nerves down, because I don't want to go too fast. As soon as I would get in the game, like it was like, oh, I'm gonna change the tempo and the pace of this game
every time.
Yeah, I'm gonna change the flow of this game. Like, and it was funny because this is what like I love more than anything. Like the fans, I would have 7. I remember the game we was down like 20 against y'all. And it was me, Langston Galloway, Luke Kennard.
Oh,
it was.
I think I know what game you're talking about.
It was Blake and Dre. We was down 17, and we needed these games to come back. We were in the black jerseys my last year.
Oh,
and I had like 7 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. I had you know, I mean, the numbers was, but we had just got the tempo going. Yeah. We ended up winning by like 10 or 12. And I remember the guy came up to me. And I mean, Dre and Blake and all those guys that played well, and he came up to me and was like, hey, Smith, he was an African guy. He was like, you are unbelievable tonight. And so to me, like, I wasn't trying to get a pat on my back. It was just, that's what my team needed.
Yeah.
And so this guy saw, like, my dad told me something when I was little, it was the funniest thing ever. He said, son, you might not make every shot. I'm a God out is true. You might not make every right pass, but he said, you will be fun to watch. He said, like, this when I was a kid. He said, you will be fun to watch. He said, people would love to watch you play. And that's the truth. That's been what I'm thankful more about. Like, when people came to watch me play, I wanted them to leave and say, man, he gave it everything.
Yeah. I wish, Greg, I'm sorry that I came on and kind of just wanted to just get all excited with Ish.
Ah, you good, man.
You know what I'm saying? But I wish we could end it on that, Ish, but I can't do it. I have to. I would be remiss and so sorrowful if I didn't ask you about this. Okay, so you know how we talked about MJ, right?
Yeah,
we talked about MJ, and you know, I want to say it was Darnell Anderson, or no, what's his name? Daryl Armstrong. I want to say just did an interview talking about Mike and how petty he was, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't see it, just go find it.
I saw when he's going 45. Yeah.
He's like, yeah. So after Michael Jordan, my next favorite player is Kobe Bryant.
Oh yeah.
So I can't let you go without you telling us a little something about Kobe.
Oh,
like,
yeah, sure.
Like you have to tell us something about Kobe, or just give us a little insight on just the Mamba mentality and just how he would just be Kobe. You know?
Yeah, I take nothing away from it sound bad, but I take nothing away from the guys in today's time when they talk about like Mamba mentality. See, when I came in, they had just won the championship and they were trying to repeat. And I say this to say, like, none of us have that mentality. And there's no disrespect.
There's no disrespect.
Kobe was crazy. People say what they want, like, oh man, Mike loved the game, but he had this talent. Kobe was infatuated with being great. Like, he worked. When you hear those stories, Caron Butler, I heard him talk about a blackout. Gordon Hayward was telling me about like a workout he sent over to him, how like these blackouts are real, and how he talked about he would wake up early in the morning and work out throughout the day. Yo, you like, man, what? And then how he would dislocate a finger, pop it back and go play, how he would tear his Achilles. That is like stuff that's unheard of. That stuff's not real. And so when we talk about like, man, yo, Mamba mentality, I'm like, now there's only one guy that had that. And we got to leave it at that and respect it. It's only one guy that had that mentality.
I love it.
You know what? That is the best answer I've ever heard.
I love that.
And we can't, I know guys talk about having that mentality. And that's that. Look, I guess you're trying to tap into something like, but it's only one guy that had it. And I hate to bring this up, but I gotta bring this up when you're talking about Kobe. And not to throw dirt on him, no. But to talk about this, you're talking about a guy who was going through a whole court case and going back, giving guys 40 and 50. Yeah. Like, listen, you know how much stress you under? Like, no. And I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm with you. Yes.
Listen, none of us are perfect. On our best day, I always say this, on our best day, we sin are saved by grace. That's just the facts.
Yeah.
All of us going to come up short. So that's not to say, oh, man, Kobe, you didn't. No. But you got to understand, I'm under, like, criminal charge. Something might, this
I can lose everything.
I can be in prison.
In prison, yeah.
And I'm flying and going to get 50. You got to understand what kind of mentality you got to have to tap into. And then this is another level of mama mentality. Then every time he went to Colorado and Utah, he would light them up. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, he would go in Colorado knowing all that stuff and go get 50, 55, 60. And as they kept saying crazy stuff to him, he get that jaw and he kept fueling himself. Like, I don't think guys understand it. So I don't want to disrespect him by saying, oh, man, I got the mama mentality. No. There's only one dude got it.
Only one dude had it.
That's why
that's
why he has it. And Kobe was special, man.
I mean, Kobe was just Kobe. I couldn't let you get out of here without talking a little bit about Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe was special.
Because I probably won't be on the next time you come on because it's Greg's show. I just wanted to, meet you, talk to you, so on and so forth. But Kobe is, for me, like I said, for me, watching the game of basketball, Michael Jordan was the greatest I ever seen.
Yeah.
The next greatest I ever seen was Kobe fucking Bryant.
Yeah, Kobe was
and Kobe in the playoffs against San Antonio, right?
He was unbelievable, man.
It was the one series against Tim Duncan and them boys.
Yep.
And Kobe said, no.
He was unbelievable. And guys don't understand, man, like the Phoenix series when he hitting the jump shot and he flying through after he hit it. Like I sit there and was like, yo, Kobe, like, and I played against him and Kobe would say, look, so is my rookie year. And I think Kyle Lowry was starting now. Aaron Brooks had got hurt. And I was backing him up. And Steve Blake was the backup point guard. And then Derek Fisher was a starter. And so I had been playing a little bit more and a little bit better. And Rick Adelman, man, I love that guy, man. He gave me the opportunity. I was so thankful. Again, I talk about the resources that we all have had and the Lord has utilized us. And Coach Adelman's been one of those coaches who gave me a chance. So we sitting there, we're playing against the Lakers. And I'm, fast, just cutting through, whatever the case is. And I don't cuss. He says, hey, D-Fish, I tell you how to stop a fast muff. You hit that muff. Hit that muff. Yo, hit it. He come back through here, hit him. And I'm sitting there like, and I smirk because I'm like, yo, Kobe knows.
Kobe gave the scouting report.
Kobe had to let him know. Let that little dude come through here again. Give him that man.
But it let me know, like, even if he would have hit me or somebody would have hit me and let me know, like, oh, I got Kobe's,
But see, that's the thing. You talk about mama mentality. Yeah. Kobe, he 1 through 15, he knew what they was doing.
Yeah,
what they could do and how to beat them. That's like you said, he was obsessed with the game.
Yeah, but I just want to put that, like you said, Ray and G. Like, I think we are, because I hear the young guys talk about it, like mama mentality. Man, I'm laser focused, and nobody had that mentality. That's why you take it and you give it right to him, because that's just the facts. That's how he was. He was obsessed with being great. He was obsessed with catching Michael. He was competitive. He tried to learn from the greatest. And he was honest with you. It's just the facts. And he grew in front of all of our eyes. So you saw 8 with the fro. Then you go there, he doing the, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then from there, Shaq leaves, and then he goes on this stretch, this 4 or 5 year stretch, where he's just going on a freaking scoring tear. And that's why I think guys don't understand. He went through a stretch where he scored 50 or 40 or more points in like a 10-game stretch or 20 games. It was something crazy. Cole was just on a different level, man. And even that Phoenix series when I think they took him to 6 or 7 games, it was up on a 2-0 and he was pulling the chest like Cole was like he was a different animal, man. Like even to when we see the Team USA thing, the redemption, and Cole waking up early in the morning, and all them dudes was kind of like, "Oh, let me get on in here." Or when
he said, "I'm about to run through Powell,"
and
Powell his best friend.
That's his boy.
Man, he ran through his face just to set the tone.
Yeah.
And then after the game, we beat him. You see him hugging him, telling him, "I love you, man. I'm proud of you," whatever the case is. And so that's the story about Tony Parker, how he learned French so he can cuss him out in French.
Yeah, insane, bro.
I love that though. That
lets you know how cerebral he is.
Yeah.
And how smart he is. And then on top of that, though, but I just want to leave it like at that where like we all can be like, man, I want to be like, like Michael Jordan. Like, remember we had the Gatorade coming? I want to be like Mike. We couldn't. That was
right.
That's for him. And Mamba, God rest his soul. But Kobe was special. And
rest in power to Kobe, because that's just.
And listen, I was more of a. You probably not gonna like it. I was more of an 8 fan. I don't know. I just like the crazy.
No, the 8 was my introduction to him. So 8 was always my coach. And 24 cool. 24 cool.
Yeah, 24 is it ain't bad, but
8 poked on people.
Man, 8
didn't give a damn. The 8 was baby Mike.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. In his own, but see, this is the thing. In his
own way, yeah.
It was like that was like the Kobe where he was like, yo, man.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing Kobe get a little older, and then you start seeing him really like take Jordan's game and like put it inside of him. Because it was all like back then. But that 8 was like long crossover. Like it was like the step back to the mid range. It was like, dang, like, yo, who is this dude? Like,
who is this kid?
He was cold, but man, and then everybody froze. Like, then everybody had the perfect fro. It was Kobe had the Sprite commercials. He was special. But that's the thing I want people to know. Like, for him to go, and it's a story behind it because he was this guy, and everybody was like, he's the Prince, he's the next. It was him, Grant Hill. They was all like, whatever the case is during that stretch in that time. And then all of a sudden, that little stuff he went, Shaq and him start feuding and bumping heads.
Yeah.
And then Shaq went on, he stayed, and then he was just going on a scoring tear because he was so angry, and he didn't trust none of his teammates. And then all of a sudden, he ended up getting in that trouble, and then he got into trouble, and then this redemption started coming. Mm-hmm. You start seeing him now all of a sudden, like, really kind of grow up in front of all our eyes. And his game started like, all right, I got to trust this dude. I got to trust that guy, whatever the case. All right,
cool. Getting Paul Gasol just made everything easier.
That trade was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, now you got him and Bynum inside. This is what I'm trying to say, and I'm going to let y'all go.
That's cool.
During that time, you had 2 7-footers in there.
Yeah.
Then you had Lamar Odom.
He's 6'11".
And then you had Meta, and then you had Derek Fisher, who's 6'3" stout. Then you had
Eddie House, not Eddie House. Who was the shooter?
You had Trevor Ariza.
Ariza, but they had another shooter. Not Eddie House.
You talking about Eddie George?
Eddie George.
Yeah, like these dudes was like, they was. Am I saying it? No, George was it Eddie? No, Eddie George, a running back. I mean, what's his name?
Not Eddie George. You know who I'm talking about. He was a shooter.
I know you're talking about. Had the eyes. I'm saying Eddie.
I can't think of his name either.
I can't think of his name, but he was a shooter. All I know is like when Kobe wasn't in, they giving him the ball. He gonna knock it down.
And that's one. And then you had Robert Ory, doing that stretch he had, but that was when he had Shaq. But I say this to say, Cole, man, he was special, man. I remember, and I'm gonna close it on this. I remember the day, man. I'm still like, I was in Washington, and we getting on the bus, and it's kind of murmurs going on. Like, I come downstairs, and people are like, yo, you hear Kobe died? I remember Rui Hachimura told me, he looked at me and said, yo, Kobe died? I was like, man, let me look at my phone. So it's crazy. Like, my heart started beating fast. I'm like, yo, this ain't real. So I check out. I get on, and my boys, one of my favorite coaches too, man. I love Scotty Brooks, man. This is my guy. We still close to this day.
Scotty Brooks, yeah.
Man, I love Scotty Brooks. So we getting on it. We like, man, is this true, man? Is this real? So I get on Google and like now I'm like, yo, what?
Yeah.
No.
The
So,
whole world was the same way, Ish.
So then all of a sudden we get there, we about to play Atlanta. About to play Atlanta in Atlanta. I'm like, man, what the heck? So Scotty Brooks, man, like when I say that was one of my favorite coaches too. Him, Stan, Dwayne Case. I've had some great coaches, Coach Adelman. But Coach Brooks kind of, just like how he did with that Oklahoma City, just kind of lets you play. And if you're talented, you're going to thrive there. So we're getting ready for Atlanta, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, yo. And so we're trying to decide if we're going to play the game or not. Like the whole NBA was trying to figure out if we were going to play the game. And Coach Brooks lived, like literally, I'm in the neighborhood here. I mean, I'm in this house here. Coach lived in like the same area, same neighborhood. Like their kids went to school together, stuff like that. So they had a closer like relationship based on him coaching and then coaching the All-Star game. And then they lived in the same neighborhood area out in I can't even think of the freaking name, Huntington Beach. So Coach Brooks comes down. He comes out, eventually comes out of the locker room. He's like bawling, crying. Because he knows like, yo, this is my guy. We right down the street. Like, and we sitting there, and I remember we was trying to decide if we was going to play. And guys was like, man, nah, hey, y'all know Kobe. That joker going to be like, man, that's on y'all. Y'all ain't playing. I'm going to play. Like, you get what I'm saying?
That's Kobe.
That's
Kobe going to play.
Kobe going to be like, man, I don't care. Like, Kobe, if he could, like, he'd get up out of his casket and go play now. That's just how he is. Yeah. He's just that much of a competitor. Wow. But I say that to say, I remember that game. And honestly, I remember the start and I remember the end. I remember missing a lot of shots. And honestly, Ray and G, not caring. I didn't care. I didn't care how the game went. It was that kind of numb, like, oh, okay, I made it. Okay, cool. If I made it, missed it, it was like a weird feeling. And, you'd be like, man, I hate I missed that shot off. But it was, I know some guys probably leaned into it and was like, man, I'm going to try to go get. But it was a weird feeling because our legends, usually we're able to see them. We're able to see them go from these old men to these to these now fathers, and we, you know what I mean? And the toughest part, which stung more than anything, because I got babies, is to see, his daughter, that's not children at the time, but that's when it started. Like, I'm like, oh man,
that's tough.
Man, that's
it's
tough.
The hardest part,
That's the toughest part. And I got to give a lot of props to Vanessa, how she's the girls are rolling. Powell's done a good job, and I'm sure probably so many of the coaches, have done great job. But she's done such a great job. The oldest girl is now, my wife gets little magazines, modeling magazines, like clothes, and she's on those. She's at USC, so she's doing well. And the babies, Vanessa's doing her thing, and now she's gonna put back out the Kobe line. So I'm happy and proud of her. That's a tough situation that you can go through, because you talking about Kobe was the foundation. She known Kobe since 17 years old. Yeah. And that's what usually my heart goes out to now. And it's like, but she's doing well. You just pray them through it. And because you got some days better than the other, and different things that trigger certain things, and you try to put things in the back, but it's a tough situation. But I remember that day, and me and Kobe went like, some guys got like really close. Like we went like, but I still felt like we lost one of our brothers. And so,
of course, I mean, I couldn't imagine, but I'm glad you was able to share that story with us, because a lot of people don't understand the impact Kobe had on the peers. His peers. Like, they, outside looking in as fans, it's like, it hurts. I mean, I cried that day. Yeah. But his peers, the ones that play with him, I know you guys felt that.
Yeah, that was tough, because
you're not supposed to lose a guy like that at that age.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny, because he was coming to a whole lot more games. And so he had started coming to, because I tell people all the time, when you get out of the NBA, you're gonna want like a little space with your kids, all that time you missed with them. You know, my wife, like, you know, just different things. Like,
so when he first got out, you didn't see him as much, but then he started coming.
Yeah, right. So then he started coming back a little bit more, started coming to the games, and in a way, you wanted him to be like, "Yo, you watching it? I done got a little better now than the last time you saw me, right?" And it was an opportunity for that, you know, because we, you know, playing against him and stuff like that.
You want him to acknowledge you for sure, yeah.
But to share the court with him and the competitor he is, and to be on the same court with him numerous times, playing against him, getting that switch sometimes, and you like, yo, he come to fade away, he going to fade away, and you still can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah. Like, you know what? It's so much basketball we can talk with you, Ish, but Kobe or Jordan step back or fade away.
Yeah,
not step back. They didn't do step backs that much. Yeah. It was fadeaways.
Yeah,
like it was a perfection move.
Yeah, unguardable, man.
Yeah,
like,
and the thing,
Greg, how many times you seen a guy with a fadeaway in a, you know, you're reffing and you know it's bunk. It's not dropping. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But when Kobe and Mike did it,
yeah. And Mike worked so hard at it. He had this kind of flow to him, this authentic. The thing that I love about Kobe though is, and I think it's a lesson for everybody, is he put so much work and time into it. You can see it. That's why if he was coming up, all you was doing is contesting. It didn't matter. It was just whether he missed or made it, because he had put time and time and time and time against it. And then he became, you know, a student of the game. And he was just, and when I say he was already that, but it was just like, you hear him how he was talking to Powell in the finals. You see how we stayed in line and was going. Kobe was Kobe. And we got to put to bed, to me, we can acknowledge him being Mamba and having a Mamba mentality. But none of us have it. I'm going to just keep it a being with you. Now, we all got our own mentality that makes us, that fits us. We all have it. G, you got one. Ray, you got one. I got one. It fits us. But Kobe had his own, and if you take on that capacity, it could be too much for you. You know what I mean? It just is.
Yeah.
Because this man literally would work until he blacked out.
Yep.
Or this man would literally, with an Achilles, we've seen people literally not even be able to walk. This man walked off. First moment shot his free throw, then walked off.
Yep.
You can't. That's not something you can kind of.
They say that's some Gotham City type stuff.
I mean, listen,
that's Gotham City
walk.
Stuff.
Yeah, you can't walk with you literally can't. Like I heard, you cannot walk. God, I hope none of us have to deal with that. But they say you can't walk, and so I say that to say, you talking about a Kobe Bryant who decided, man, don't carry me off here. I'm gonna walk off this bad boy. Or
make my free throws.
That's insane.
Shaq got how many? He got 4. I'm gonna get 2 more over him.
Yep.
Like that is I'm driven every summer to be like whatever triggers his mind. And he never cheated nobody on the defense end. He never cheated anybody on the offensive end. He was gonna put on a show. He wasn't sitting out no games. Like he was just that special. And so when we say Mamba mentality, and then we kind of, you know, low manage, and then we kind of like sit down, or we end up not guard. We got to just we have to chill and just say, no, I got my own mentality.
Yeah, I got Ish's mentality. I ain't got Mamba.
Yeah, I don't got Mamba. I don't, and honestly, I don't want it because that's not for me. That's for him. That's what made him great. And that is what people have to stop being like, man, that Mamba mentality. No. Listen, and I love Kyrie Irving. When I say I love Kyrie Irving, that's my guy. Man.
I do too.
That's my guy. I played this year. I wasn't planning on playing, and Kyrie, man, that's my dude. I sit down and watch. I get a remote and watch Kyrie play. He's one of him, Tyrese Maxey. It's a lot of guys I sit there and just watch play. But if Kobe was playing in Boston and they were doing all that cussing out on him, he would have lit them up.
Hey, see,
and so that's why I say we can't take, because Kyrie is that's my guy. He's one of the nicest guys and one of the coldest players we've ever seen. I've never seen anybody dribble, pass, shoot like Kyrie Irving. There's nobody like him. When I say I had to guard him. Like when I say he giving you nightmares, this is the only dude I know was like, Ish guard me, post me up, and literally shot fake under. Couldn't do nothing with it. But Kyrie's a beautiful human being. He's a great guy. He's a smart guy. And he talks about Kobe a lot. But this is why I say we got to leave Kobe where Kobe is, and then Ish where Ish is, Kyrie. All the guys got to have it. Because if Kobe was still alive, he would have called Kyrie and said, stop being up and go kill them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they were close.
This is why you and I, this is why we clicked like we did. Yeah. Because I was sitting down watching the game after, you and I texting. And I'm like, okay, when is Kyrie just going to demand the ball until everybody get out of my way?
Take over, Kyrie.
And I'm going to just kill him.
That's
what like you just said, bro. That meant, not saying he doesn't have it, but that mama mentality, like, yo,
it's just different. And this is what I try to tell people. Like, I'm a nice dude. I want to see him get 25. Yeah, that ain't how you can hear Kawhi Leonard say it. Kawhi Leonard was funny. Kawhi was like, man, I don't know if y'all seen it. He was like, how many shots have you shot? And Kawhi was like, in a game, he was like, oh, like 16. He said, or 20 or something like that. He said, what? I shot that in half. Like, but that's I'm gonna shoot all these freaking bullets. And I don't care what 1, 2 man, 3 man. And honestly, people gotta be honest. He wasn't the nicest teammate. Neither was Mike. Like they just, whatever the case is. But they were trying to go out there and go, and it was gratifying when you hold that trophy and y'all all doing it together. But that's why I say when people be like, man, that mama mentality, I got to tap in that mama. No, we're just different. And we have to leave that with Kobe. Yeah. No disrespect to nobody else. We just have to leave that to Kobe. And that's what I'm saying. We all got our own games. Let's own our own selves. But the kind of insanity in a good way that Kobe played with and worked at, we haven't seen. And I just want to give him his respect and just be like, nah, you got that mentality. And I think, and I use that as an example, not to take a slight at Kai, but just to let people know how crazy, insanely, in a positive way, Kobe was in like trying to be the best. And he would have used the Boston Garden as, watch this. And Kobe would have got
that's how Mike was with Madison Square.
Yeah, like would have got that job. But what I'm saying is how much hate Kyrie was receiving. He still got under his skin because he's a great guy.
Yeah, for sure. You can see it. You can see it. Like,
Kobe, and this is not a dislike to him, was a dog. Man, I don't care what you feel. Man, what you mean? Like, man, what? Like, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna make sure y'all eat like what? What y'all gonna do? Yeah. I'm gonna lean into it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna spit on Lucky again and step on his face. What's up? What y'all gonna do? And I'm gonna keep going. And I'm gonna keep killing. That's how he is. I don't care what y'all feel. And then he got that jaw going like this and then going in. Y'all know how he is. That's just how Kobe was.
Yeah, man.
I
want to leave his mindset like, here you go. God rest his soul, man. Look, there's only one person that can.
Yes, I thank you so much.
You did a bit, yeah.
I thank you so much because that's just it's something that I've always wanted to ask somebody that played him, that knew him, and you just like bless me for that. You know what I'm saying? Like Greg, I'm glad you met Ish. Ish, you're a great dude, man.
Man, we gotta get back on here again, man. My wife just texted me. You okay? Yeah, I'm okay, man.
I mean, like my wife wants to, make sure I eat. I came home. I didn't even like interact with her. I just like I gotta go downstairs. I gotta get downstairs to the basement to get on.
My wife, you over here cooking. I'm pretty sure some clanking.
I mean, y'all been on for almost 3 hours. I got on like I'm almost at 2:30. But at the end of the day, this was fun because like we're fans, right? Me and Greg. Greg is more like, so I'm a fan. I ain't involved with basketball at all, right? Greg is a ref. That's what he's doing. Eventually, I'm gonna be seeing Greg on TNT, running up and down the court, blowing that whistle, right? And then you, being who you are, have played in the league for 14 years and just, been around some of the greatest players to ever put, lace up their shoes. So
I got tons of stories for y'all. And
I know you do.
And it's a lot of positive.
And I need a secret to come out the next time you come on because we know you know the secret. You know, we know Anthony Edwards is Michael Jordan's son. We know that.
Yo, that's hilarious.
We know that. Like, stop playing with us, bro.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. That kid is special, man.
Oh, he is special. Oh my God. I just wish that at least 2 more of the people on that team had the same mentality he does. I just wish 2 people.
He's so special, man. But he got it. I like it. I like his running mate in Jalen McDaniels. I like him a lot.
I like Jalen.
I think he got it, Scotty. I think he got it, Scotty.
Man,
I just need like just. Ooh,
we gotta talk. We'll talk another time because I think they gotta kind of the team as they gotta have to make some changes.
He's my favorite player in the league right now, but you know, I guess there's a certain look I love about basketball players, and he just fits it.
Man, Anthony was special, man. He different, man.
But Greg gonna have to when you come on next time, Greg, you gotta ask him how to fix the Minnesota Timberwolves to make them contenders.
Yeah, man.
Well, they right there. They just got to do like some little tweaks here and there, and they'd be all right. It's like I said, we'll talk. It's funny because they built the team to beat Denver, and now you got to like be able to that because Naz Reid is unbelievable to me. I love that dude.
Oh, dude. They cannot let him go. They have to keep him.
No, they're not letting him go. No, heck no. They won't let him go. But it's so much more to it. So we'll chop it up, y'all. We'll talk, man.
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate y'all, man.
Yes, it's been fun. Thank you. We've had over 200 people. We're at 230 tune in. Once again, this is 14-year NBA vet and 2023 champion is Smith. This is one of the nicest guys, coolest guys.
Yeah,
yo, we this is now my brother, man. So
we talk all the time, right?
I'm glad y'all do, and if you can text me anytime too, get my number from Greg.
I bet I'm gonna get your number, for sure. Yeah, and you gotta come back on, man.
I mean, it's whenever you want, I can just pop on. It's my channel, you know what I'm saying? Like I created the channel, I'll pop in at any time. I don't give a shit.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, man.
Have a good night, bro.
All right, tell your wives I apologize.
Nah, it's all good, man.
All right.
Hey, Greg.
Man,
Ray. You did that. That's you really getting your show off the ground. I'm so proud I brought you on, give you your own platform, and you just do what you do, man. All your connections, all your whatever. And I promise you, I'm still gonna try to get you a guest that you want to talk to. And I'm gonna get him on here for you.
Yeah, I
got to have an issue on. I'm gonna get him on.
I got a lot of guys in mind, and I still got to get over the fact. Like I told my wife the other day, like hearing the people that he's connected to, and the fact that he's like, "Yo, take my number down." I'm
right.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah, and it's like and I can tell as we're speaking to Ish, it's like Ish, and I'm pretty sure 80-90% of the guys in the league are the same way. They just want to talk to regular people.
Yeah, it's not, bro, and like I get and the knowledge I get to talk ball with an NBA player in my phone. Like I can't. Yo,
I understand, Greg. I get it. I just had the same experience you did talking to him just now. So I know
what I'm saying. And honestly, that's my goal because seeing you come in and you're able to talk with this man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, the people I'm connected with, I want to share that because these guys, they're regular people just like us. It just so happened they're on a bigger stage than us, man.
That's it. Like, and that's the whole reason why I wanted the Juke Joint to be just a place where people could just come be their authentic selves and just have a good time and talk. And then at the end of the day, we're gonna keep on bringing on guys. Just come on and just chop it up.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, great. Hey, Ish is that dude. I like Ish. Ish is cool.
He's a good guy, man.
And the next time he comes on, tell him I'm going to talk shit about him, about his actual name. Just let him.
You don't like the name Ishmael?
No. The other one that people don't even know. Like I was gonna call him that today, but I wasn't going. I don't know. Now that I know him, I'm hitting him with that next time. Next time I talk to him, like, yeah. Let's talk about it.
I meant to bring this up, man. But I know we got short on time. But he was with his partners, right? And so one of his guys had a full, like he had a beard, and had Gray, and I'm thinking like, yo, that's your pops. And he looked at me like, no, that's my boy. And I was like, yo, I was like, man, I hope I did not just ruin my chances with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yo, he's a cool guy, man. We definitely gonna get another
fun,
date.
man. I'm glad you had that experience. Glad you had your first guest on, and it happened to be Ish Smith, who is a great dude. Like I wanted to keep messing with him because I genuinely did not like that cat, man. He would give us buckets.
Hey, you and me both, man. I knew when we played the Pistons and he played for them, it was going to be a problem.
He gave us buckets.
It was going to be a problem.
Even when he was in Philly, he gave us buckets.
Yeah, bro.
Anyway,
and it's documented that he's one of the fastest guys to ever.
Yes, from baseline to baseline, absolutely.
Bro, yeah, there's nothing you can do about it.
Crazy, but you know what? Like I said, I'm glad you found your footing and you found your way on your channel. Yeah, I don't know about this Facebook thing. It keeps giving me messages about Facebook about you and your Facebook.
Yeah, it's saying that your page has to have a certain amount of numbers or followers to maintain connections. But I'm good with that. I'm at
cool.
I'm at 2.4K right now on Facebook. So
all right, so then you're good. All right, then just kind of just parlay that with the show, and then you just keep doing that, or whatever. But anyway, hey man, I just popped on because I wanted to just experience talking to an NBA player and questions.
Ray, believe it or not, that brought me so much joy, man. That brought me so much joy. It's like, yo, yeah, Ray, take it all in, bro. Because this is what me and my wife experienced, man. It's like, like I said, we'll be back in Chicago, and I'm working on Angel Reese, Cardozo. You know what I'm saying? Let's connect. So it's like I tell people, no, I use social media for connections for this.
Yeah, I wanted to. I just had to ask because I waited to the end to ask about Kobe. Like,
bro, wasn't that a great answer, man?
Man, I needed it. I
never thought of it that way, honestly.
Me neither. But the way he said it is just like, you can't get no better than that.
Yeah, man.
And then especially some of the Chicago stuff, especially D Rose and Jabari and stuff like that. So like that was essential for me to have him on to talk about some of them guys. But man, this was good, and I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying, and all that good stuff. So, let's get up out of here, man. Our wives are probably, wanting to strangle us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell your wife I said what's up.
And same here, man.
Your time and you go ahead. You can end it how you ended.
Yes, sir. So I want to appreciate everybody tuning in. All 230 of you guys.
And now Julius, look at the text message. Julius is like, yo, when Ish come back on, I'm on. I want to get on.
I'm with it.
Yeah. You know you can come on, Julius. Stop it.
Yes, sir. Julius good people, man. And so appreciate everybody tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, or X as I still gotta get used to calling it X.
I ain't never calling it X. It's Twitter.
Your mama call you Clay, I'm gonna call you Clay.
Exactly.
But this was awesome, and I do have some other people that I have in mind that I'm going to reach out to bring them on. And this podcast is straight talk ball. We ain't into the tabloids, no crazy headlines. Yeah. Like, nah, man, just to bring them on, talk ball, get to know them a little bit, and give experiences like I have, like me and my wife have, and pass it along. That's what it's all about, man. And once again, we're going to be home in July 13th. My wife will be singing for the Chicago Sky. So if you can get your tickets, we'll be there. But if not, if you can't get your tickets to that game, we will be at the White Sox versus Pirates game on July 14th. So look for us there. Feel free to come up, man, and we can definitely connect and get some pictures, a hot dog or whatever. I don't drink beer. I'm not a beer guy. I'm more of a whiskey bourbon type of guy. But
you're my type of guy. That's what this is. Or was.
Yeah, we can still do what it do, man. And so it's all love from me. Feel free to connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. And until next time, fellas and ladies, y'all be easy. Peace.
Hey, man, you got to stop the stream.